What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome to the Awakening World, the very start of our new season, summer season for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, and acknowledging it's winter for all of our friends down under. And speaking of our friends down under, I want to welcome everybody watching on almost 100 Facebook groups and pages, including all of our friends watching on Unify. And of course, we get people watching from all over the world on Unify. And I'm going to be checking down on my other device to see what's going on in the chat box on Facebook. So definitely connect with us, let us know what's happening, or come directly into our Zoom room. And it's easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And you're going to get the links for all three shows that we do every weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning, for the next 3 months. So it's the start of a new season, and we're going to do some fun new things. And a big hello to our friends in the Zoom room. And you know what to do. Tell us where you're from. And I see a lot of our regulars, Bonnie and Leaf and Eleanor Joy. And I know that already we've got people from Janet from Alabama. So let us know where you're from. And we're going to make the summer season, winter down south, down below, very interactive. We want to have more connection with you, our audience, because we are the Global Peace Tribe, and we're all getting to know each other, and we're all learning how to connect. And so since it's the start of the new season, and it's all about connection, I thought to myself, God, I wonder if Tangela would be available to co-host with me. Because Tangela, you may have met her before if you've seen her, she is who created Soul Search. And Soul Search is the community building organization that's partnering with Global Peace Tribe. So welcome, Tangela, and thank you for being with us both tonight and tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Scott. Thanks for inviting me. And as always, it's so great to be here with everyone in this wonderful community. I love feeling everyone's energy and just seeing everyone gather here today. So thanks.
Absolutely. It's great to have you with us. And along with us is also one of Tangela's core members of Soul Search. Tell us a little bit about Raquel Spring.
So yes, I would like to welcome my dear soul sister and amazing quantum talented astrologer, Raquel Spring. She's actually a 4th generation astrologer from Brazil. And she combines technique with spirit, bringing astrology to many from the eyes of the soul. So I mean, I've actually had the honor and privilege of working with Raquel, and she really does provide this incredible multidimensional reading that really speaks to your soul, your soul's evolution, your soul's purpose, and really beyond anything that I really had comprehended before when thinking about astrology. So she's amazing, and she is based in Sedona, Arizona, where she mentors, writes, speaks about the greater evolution that's taking place. And she has an incredible community on Facebook and on YouTube, and is quite generous in all of the wisdom that she shares on a regular basis. So I have been blessed to experience her work in multiple ways, and she just takes astrology to a whole new level. And I just welcome this beautiful goddess to the show with us tonight. So thanks, Raquel.
Wow, that was so beautiful, Tangela. I feel loved. I must be glowing right now.
You are.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here with everyone tonight, joining forces, joining lights, intentions.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was really impressed with Raquel when she was on the show previously. It's like, okay, we got to have that woman back right away.
Here I am.
You know, we're talking about interacting more and more with our audience. And I don't know, maybe 6-9 months ago, I started getting messages from somebody who was a regular watching the show named Omoshar. And he was kind of shy. He was like, well, I'm a musician and, you might enjoy my music. And so he sent me his links to his YouTube channel. I go, wow, this guy is good. He has officially become the house musician for the Awakening World. This is Omoshar. And he's going to bless us with at least a couple of those songs tonight.
That is right. Thank you so much.
And last weekend when we were talking about what we want to have more of on the show, people are saying more magic. You used to have a lot more magic on the show. Where's Paul Draper? We want Paul Draper. You asked for Paul Draper, you get Paul Draper.
What? Hi.
So we're going to have definitely magic from Paul and a lot of interaction with all of you. And then a little later on, Nicole Keating is going to be joining us. And we are going to play a couple of videos of some of your favorite things. So we've got some wonderful surprises in store. So welcome, everybody. It's going to be a fun show. And turn on your cameras. Chat us up in the Zoom room. If you're watching on Facebook, go to globalpeacetribe.com and register, because we're going to have a really, really fun time tonight. It's going to be a great show. I want to acknowledge that it is Gay Pride Month, and we are very inclusive in Global Peace Tribe. We respect all faiths, all religions and spiritual development. We respect all genders, and we definitely celebrate Gay Pride Month. And one of our favorite musical artists is Nina Gray, and you'll see her on the show live, no doubt, in the next few weeks. But I asked her if she would be willing to create a video for us that I could play throughout Gay Pride Month. And she knocked it out of the park. She made this just for the Awakening World. And it's beautiful. I really, really love it. So let's hear what Nina Gray has to sing about love and the beauty of all forms of love.
Is there a right way? Or can we get it wrong? When we love someone, when we're loving someone, if it were up to Jesus, think he'd open up his arms to really love someone, to really love everyone. Love is what they say. That what matters in the end anyway. Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say. Ain't that what matters in the end anyway. Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Oh, 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 oh. She spent a long time thinking there was something wrong. Journaling at midnight, feeling so alone. He spent a lifetime playing out a role, say ain't that what matters in the end anyway. Different colors and different lights, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway. Different colors and different lights, it's all the same on the inside. Oh, love is 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 love. Love is love.
Isn't that the sweetest video, Tangela?
Oh, so fun, so beautiful, just really straight from the heart. So love it. She's amazing. Nina Gray is so talented.
She is. She's actually one of our absolute favorite musical artists. And, you know, she is such a kind human being. And that's one of the things that I really love about our favorite Kristen Hoffman, Cornflower, Nina Gray, you, and the whole Soul Searchers. They're just really kind, wonderful, humble human beings. So this is the time when we get to chat a little bit, and I would love for people to get to know you more because we're going to be collaborating a lot. People are going to be getting to know you and Soul Search. And so I'll show you a video, your Soul Search video, and then we want to learn about Soul Search, but we also want to learn more about you, Tangela. So,
Sure.
but here we go. We'll start by taking a look at your video.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibration community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
So how did this start? What was the starting point for you, Tangela, to create Soul Search?
That's a great question, Scott. So actually, the starting point is that I was living in New York City. I was a tech entrepreneur there, but I was also, very spiritual and spiritually minded, and was hosting some events at my home, cacao ceremonies and things like that. And a lot of my friends, would come, and they were not really, spiritual or interested in spiritual, they were not meditators, had not been on retreats, anything like that, but they would come and they would share and take part and really feel an impact and feel a shift. And then afterwards they would start coming to me saying, well, what happened there? What was that about? Like, I felt something shift, and do you know where I could learn more, or who can I contact to find out about this thing about myself? And I just saw that, more and more people were really seeking and really searching and were looking for guidance. And I was making recommendations, but I realized that there wasn't a place and a destination that people could really go to search for practitioners to work with, search for healers, to explore different modalities, to connect with community, and just find new experiences. So that's really how Soul Search was born, because I was like, wow, like, this world is shifting, world is awakening, and people really want to connect. And in many cities, you don't really have the opportunity to go to in-person events or meet many healers, guides, astrologers like Raquel in person. But, the reality is a lot of these practitioners like Raquel can work with anyone, anywhere in the world. So the opportunity now is for people around the world to be able to, from wherever they're sitting, whether they're in Milwaukee or whether they're in Jakarta, Indonesia, they can actually go to this platform. They can explore different modalities that they may have never heard of. They can connect with healers, practitioners, teachers they can work with, and also find community, find new friends, find courses to join, become a part of different groups. So, and join online events, which we have a lot of. And so this is just the birth of a whole new awakening community to help people around the world to really connect, explore, and just step into this new earth that we're creating together.
Beautiful. And I want to again invite everybody watching on Facebook or watching in our Zoom room, any questions you have about Soul Search, or any questions for any of our wonderful people. Maybe you want to ask, well, you probably want to ask Paul Draper how he did that magic act. He may or may not answer that question. But Tangela, what are the best ways at this point for our audience to get involved and to interact with you in Soul Search?
Sure. So, well, we have an active community that you can join. So when you go to our website, which is soulsearch.io, if you are looking for a practitioner, you can just go on there. You can search by different categories. You can take a look at profiles from many of the amazing healers that we have on there, including Raquel, and see, oh, maybe, I'm looking more to explore who I am and my soul's purpose through astrology, or maybe I'm looking into Akashic records and they can find Melissa Thike or shamanic healing. So we have so many different modalities and so many different practitioners. They can jump in. You can go to our blog section or our galleries and just search and look at different videos or articles. And we have a whole community section where both our practitioners as well as our community members, they're a part of, and you can interact. I actually ask questions. We have a different theme every month. So June was multidimensional month, and we were asking all kinds of questions about people and their multidimensional experiences, if they've connected to their angels and guides, or if they know their star families. So it's always fun to see what people are saying. July is bringing the sacred into daily life. So we'll be exploring that theme. And we just welcome all of you guys to jump in and join us. And you can ask questions. You can respond to questions. We also have a lot of events posted there that are online events. So no matter where you are, you can attend these online events. And, there might be ceremony, activations, meditations, online fairs. And we do, I think Laura is asking if we have QHHT hypnosis practitioners. I know we have hypnosis. I will check to see if we have QHHT, but that's a great question, Laura. Thank you. I will look into that and get back to you, or you can search and I'll see, but I'll see if we have someone. And then also we have different groups. So a lot of our practitioners are now starting their own groups on Soul Search. So you can join those groups. We have one called Psychics in Training for people who are interested in developing their intuitive capabilities. We have one on dream alchemy. So there's different groups that you can join. And I know a lot of our practitioners are starting new groups every week. So and as well as you can take courses. So we have a lot of different ways that you can get involved, and you can just jump in and see who's on there and start connecting. And if you see a healer that you'd like to just chat with and ask them more about their work and what they do, you can do that as well. So it's meant to be very interactive. It's all inclusive, and we welcome all of you guys to come join our Soul Search family.
I noticed in the chat box that Susan wrote, that she found somebody through Soul Search. So that's cool. Just right off the bat, she's right. Tangela, we found someone through your platform to work with, and it was very helpful. So there you have it. I'm going to
That's awesome,
briefly go to the
Susan. Thank you.
website. And again, it's soulsearch.io. And there's lots of ways you can find healers, guides, events, courses. And of course, this is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. And Tangela and I are going to be working on setting up a whole TV platform where we're going to play some of our favorite segments. So if you're missing Paul Draper Magic, you can go and find all the Paul Draper video snippets. Or if you're wanting to hear Kristen Hoffman sing. So we're going to really create something very, very fun that way. So it's going to keep growing and building.
Exactly. That's
here
great.
it
Yeah,
is.
we're going to be launching Soul Search TV, which is going to be really fun. And it'll be a great way because we are collaborating with the Global Peace Tribe. So you guys can see all of your favorite people from all of the different episodes, and then we'll also be producing new shows together with Scott and also with a lot of our amazing practitioners, including Raquel, who's joining us today. So we have a lot of really exciting things in store, and we also welcome all of your ideas. I mean, this is a community that we're co-creating together. So any questions you have about it, any ideas you have about it, how programming, different new categories, new sections, anything, you're always welcome to reach out. I'm on the community all the time, so you can always just reach out to me directly, and we can always have a conversation. And excited to do that with you guys.
Fantastic. Well, speaking of practitioners, here's one of our guests who's going to be with us through the evening. This is Raquel. And I would love for, our weekend is all about the start of the summer season, winter for people down under. It's a new chapter in life. So I'm going to turn it over to Raquel to maybe share some of her tools and practice, some of what you offer so that people can get to know you, but also any wisdom that you want to share about new beginnings, new seasons. So take it away, Raquel.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. So yes, my name is Raquel Spring. I'm a 4th generation astrologer from Brazil, originally from Brazil and now living in Sedona, Arizona. And I'm so happy to be a part of Soul Search and what Soul Search represents to me. Personally, I feel that Soul Search is one of the new leaders, one of the new voices coming in right now of spirituality and the new earth that we're bringing in. There's many new models that are coming into the planet right now. They're being seeded right now. So to me, Soul Search represents one of those, and I am so happy to be a part of it. And so yes, I have an astrology school where I teach how I do this, because I tell everybody that I don't want to be spoon feeding you and telling you what's going to happen. I want to teach you how to do it so you can look at your own chart and understand this language. But in addition to that, I also work with personal sessions where I help guide many people individually through their own situations, their own process, their own journey, but in a way that is in alignment with the overall direction, the overall intention that was set by the soul. So it's a very beautiful work because it's very in depth and you're working together with the greater whole of your existence. And then through that, I help people navigate situations, make decisions, and so forth. So that's just a little bit about, yeah.
Yeah, well, right off the bat, people are wondering. So Dr. Laura is asking Raquel, tell us what the rest of the year will portend via the astrological alignments.
All right. Well,
good question.
Yes. That's an extensive subject.
We've got a little bit of time here.
I'm going to say this much. I'm going to tie it in also. And thank you for that question. If there's any other questions, please bring them in. I love questions. But I'm going to tie that in with also what you asked about the new season. Great. And I want to share a little bit also from an astrological perspective, because we've just entered a new season. So this is the the season of summer here for us. And, you know, in astrology, this stage of the year, the season of summer, is really a season of growth, because the previous season is spring. And spring in astrology is a very, very important starting point. This is really where the astrological year begins, with spring. So spring brings that energy of fertility, of planting the new seeds. This is where we start to really get a good hold of what the year is going to be about for us. You know, a lot of us, we celebrate the new year and we enter January 1st with that new beginning expectation. But if you stop and notice, it's really in spring that you start to gain that momentum, like, okay, now I'm fully in 2022, for example. So the season of spring is that point of new beginning where you're introducing the new energies that you're going to be working with for that particular cycle. And when we come to the next season after spring, you have the stage of development and growth of the themes that were planted at the stage of spring. So really where we're at right now, we're at a stage of very rapid development of the themes that were seeded in spring, in the beginning of the year. So if you stop and look around you, if you look in the world or in your own life or the life of your loved ones, you'll see this momentum that I'm speaking of. And tying it in with the question of, you know, where we're at and where are we going to next? Of course, that's the big question. That's the big question. Where is this all going? What's happening next? Well, we are at a stage right now that with the season of spring, we have been bringing this accelerated momentum, because this is the stage of growth, of rapid developments. So of course, you know, in my work with astrology, I never just get the isolated, okay, this is a new season, period. No, I look at the greater cycles that I call them the cycles, the greater themes that are in place, the ones that belong to a season of a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. There are many different cycles that are holding in place this birthing of the season. So instead of just looking at the birthing of the season, I look at the context through which the birthing of the season is happening, so we can get a really good understanding of what that momentum is about. So right now what we're having is we're experiencing this really intense accelerated momentum where we're heading into this phase of about a year or a year and a half where things are going to get really intense. And this is a very beautiful phase, because this is the final stage of that ending of whatever it is that we're transitioning from and into something next. Because we're in the middle of this transition, and just this in and of itself is worthy of its own, you know, there's a lot to say here. But this is the stage right now. The next few months are going to be very accelerated. And right now, each of us are having a big flow of energy come into our life this month of July, and especially August. You're going to see this, that many people are having this accelerated momentum coming in to help them take action. So the action that we're all taking, this is different to everyone. It really has to do with where, for example, Taurus, the sign of Taurus, is in your chart. We all have Taurus somewhere in our charts. Right now, the energy of Taurus is an energy that's bringing some of that accelerated momentum, a good part of it. So your Taurus house is actually would reveal what area of your life is in alignment with your soul's intention for being here in the context of the greater evolution, the greater transition, and it'll show you where that influx, that momentum is coming from, where you are supposed to step into and take action no matter what.
Doctor, a couple things. Dr. Laura, I'm going to read a lot of comments, so people give us your comments. Dr. Laura writes, So glad to hear this is the final stage of the transition. Suzanne wants to know what type of astrology you utilize, Western, evolutionary, Vedic. And just as an example, since you talked about it, my moon is in Taurus. And actually, of all my signs, I've Capricorn Sun, Taurus Moon. I relate most to Taurus Moon. So, just as an example, what with Moon and Taurus, how would that be impacted by what you're sharing?
You know, Scott, I believe, I don't know if you know this or if you remember, but I believe your moon in Taurus is in the 12th house.
I don't remember.
I believe so. I asked Scott for his birth information and I had a little peek when we first met a couple of weeks ago. But when I look at someone's, for example, let's say that you have a planet in the sign of Taurus as well. Maybe you have a sun in Taurus. I'm going to look at that planet, but I'm also going to look at the house it's in because that's going to add a lot of information. So, for example, anything that has to do with the moon is a very close emotional space for you. It usually has to do with family, with home. Moon also represents women in a lot of the feminine nature. It could be the mother as well. So overall, these are all themes that are very active for you right now. Of course, it depends on the relationship of the rest of your chart as well to really hone in and get that direct message for you. But the 12th house is also a very spiritually elevated place of astrology. So this is the place where you find meditation, retreat, spiritual communion, spiritual experiences, past life regressions, dreams. This is the place. And by you having the moon there, Scott, it's already you're naturally connected with this energy. So, but there's something more during this stage that's pushing you there. And an interesting thing, I remember speaking to you recently, and you said that you were a little under the weather also. You got a little sick a few weeks ago or a few days ago. And it's interesting because the 12th house, it's also where when spirit is trying to get your attention, it can use health to get you to stop, to slow down, because the essence of the 12th house is silence and communion with spirit.
Wow.
Yeah. So looking at your whole chart, I would get a deeper understanding of why is it that spirit is calling you to this place of communion right now. We can see what's going to happen, in 6 months from now or in a year from now, and what's contributing to this preparation that you're going through with this energy.
I mean, you called it. I mean, honestly, I'm blessed. I'm a really healthy guy, and I got COVID, and it knocked me on my butt.
Yeah.
And for 10 days, I was operating at about 10%. So it was a lot of, but I was here in this home. I've got this whole house to myself, and I just did a lot of meditation, a lot of listening to, tapes, and just I couldn't be functioning on the computer, so I was in a deep inner time. So you really called it.
Yeah.
All right, well,
It's really interesting to see how things happen in alignment with a greater. It's not just a coincidence or, I just had my immune system low, But
I want
yes.
to bring it back to other people. So Janet's from Alabama writes, between frequencies, there's chaos as the material world catches up with the newer frequency. Cymatics reveal this when newer frequencies are introduced to the sand on the speakers as it jumps around in chaos with newer frequencies until the newer pattern emerges with the new frequency. Wow, that's deep. Thank you, Janet. And Mary, I think it was Mary, was wanting to know if you could get even more specific about the intensity and how to work with that intensity.
I work a lot with the moments that present to us. So for example, one big moment that I like to work with are the energies of the new moon. So it really depends on the lunar cycle that we're working with at the moment there is no one answer here for the whole year. I mean, of course, generally we can always come with an answer, but if you want specific, look at the energies for this month. What are we looking at this month? And this month, You're welcome to check my YouTube channel if you want to go deeper into this and understand more, because I've got whole videos where I go deep into what this means. And I know a lot of concepts may seem rather abstract as well, especially if you're hearing it for the first time. So that's where I do offer deeper guidance and support in this. But this is a month where we're working with an archetype in astrology that we call the Black Moon Lilith. So it really is a phase that we're being made to look very deep at some deep emotions. This is a month where a lot of emotions are coming up for people, a lot of situations that brings this quality. The Black Moon Lilith has a quality of deep emotions that can even be associated with rage. Now it can even be rage for just the state of the world and realizations about life and about, the reality of where we're in, and but this is a quality that is rising in the world this month of July. So, everything is very relative as well to your chart. This is something to keep in mind. So there is no one size fits all. We're all experiencing this period. But it is a starting point. The Black Moon Lilith energies, they were highlighted. They were the main signature that was highlighted on the new moon. The new moon happened conjunct the Black Moon Lilith. So this is indicating an energy that we're being made to go very deep and look at these themes that have been buried and suppressed for generations, for lineages, for many, many lifetimes for a lot of us. And this is happening collectively so that we can really bring to the surface the things that we've been denying and not wanting to look at.
Mm-hmm. There was a question you said, was it Black Moon Lilith? Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? Tell us more about that. Someone's asking about that.
Yeah, so I could go deep. That's why, there's many videos on my YouTube channel about her, but the Black Moon Lilith is an archetype in astrology. She is a point in the sky that refers to the farthest point of orbit between the moon and the earth. So whenever the moon reaches her farthest point in her orbit with the earth, that point, there is an actual measurable mathematical vortex there, an energy that is measurable, and this magnetic field over there, and it's very mysterious, right? Let's not go into details about that, but there is a force over there. And so of course, after many much research on it, they found that every time a celestial body moved close to there was the effects, the influence. So they started to study that. And so the Black Moon Lilith is this point of the moon's orbit with the earth, and it's the farthest point. So it's a point we don't see of the moon, basically. And because we're dealing with the moon, it has to do with our emotions. So the Black Moon Lilith becomes a point of our emotions that tend to be repressed, tend to be considered controversial or dark or unwanted. And we carry this stigma with us. We all have a Black Moon Lilith somewhere in our chart, and that can show you a little more of that energy in your blueprint. But this particular one is an energy we call the transit. So this is where that point is right now for everybody, period. So there's two, we can work with your individual and we can work with that point for the world. So the Black Moon Lilith is this energy that tends to be more mysterious, more hidden. It has to do with our emotions. Now, moon is also feminine. It's, a lot of themes that have to do with the feminine frequency. What is the feminine frequency? Everything that has to do with, whether you want to call it the divine feminine, the mother guides, the essence of creation. I just summarize it and I say the feminine frequency. So there is a very ancient stream of the feminine that belongs to thousands of years, even prior to our civilization. And this part of our history, this part of the feminine power has been purposely suppressed and hidden, and it belongs directly to the Black Moon Lilith. So the Black Moon Lilith has this dual darkness to her, that part of it is the distorted, the pain, the rage, the manipulation, but it also is just the other side of the coin of the feminine frequency. That is a really strong point of power and energy that we are just now becoming mature enough to understand about. So a lot of my classes, a lot of my work recently has revolved around teaching people about her and helping them understand so we can prepare for this type of information and access to this power that we're walking into. I like to correlate the power of the Black Moon Lilith as the new sovereign aspect that we're embodying. And it's that unwavering, untamed essence of the feminine that is now returning to us. So it's a very balanced place of authority, but also heart, wisdom, so that you don't mistake that for being naive as well. And this is a very complete aspect of sovereignty that's coming to us. But in order for us to access that sovereignty, we need to make peace with what we call the darkness. And this is really a part of us. Like everything that we feel, the rage, it's all part of our essence that is coming up for us to look at. So it is an extensive subject. It's a very deep work, but in essence, I hope that helps to explain a little bit that what the Black Moon Lilith is about and why she's in focus for us this month.
Beautiful. And first of all, you're captivating in the way you communicate. Absolutely captivating.
Thank you.
I love how eloquent you are. And a couple of people made comments about anger, and Dr. Laura was saying, how can you not feel rage with some of the things going on in the world? And I'm glad we're talking about that for a minute, because often, obviously, most of the people that watch the show are of a certain spiritual bent, you could say New Age or New Thought. And often in New Thought, there's the idea that anger or even rage is bad, that it's not spiritual to be angry. And I disagree with that. What I do like to teach is that anger is a natural human emotion, and it needs to be managed. And it's always appropriate, if we are angry, to acknowledge our anger, but not to direct it towards somebody else or use it as a weapon, but rather to look inside, which of my values have not been met, right? When we're angry, it's because there are certain values that haven't been met. So for example, if there's a politician that makes us angry because, let's say, he's not honest, or we perceive he's not honest, don't focus your hate on the politician, but get in touch with, it makes me angry because I so value honesty, and I long for honesty from public leaders. And focus on the beauty of the longing that isn't being met, as opposed to hating on the person that isn't showing up the way you want them to show up. And that's a way to pivot with our anger. So I just wanted to toss that in there. And I'm going to go to your website, because you do have a lot going on here. It's a beautiful website. It's easy. It's her name, raquelspring.com. And to get to her videos, just go to blog and videos. And I see you've got a lot of wonderful videos here, including right there, month of July activates the Black Moon Lilith. So
there it is.
The first video is the one you were just talking about. So that's where we can go and learn much more about it. So,
and I do these videos once a month where I'm covering like what are the main energies for the month that we're looking at here, and I really like, what I tell my community is like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here next to you, by your side, to help you navigate this transition. We're all in this together. There's no way out of this. We signed up to be here, and I'm going to do my best to guide you through this using the wisdom of astrology, the language that, they're sharing with us to help us understand. And together we're all joining forces and using our gifts and our understanding of this to help support each other during this time.
Beautiful. Dr. Laura writes, the ancient feminine feels like Mother Gaia to me, and Mother Gaia has every right to feel rage.
The Black Moon Lilith is an archetype that is directly related to Gaia, Gaia's womb. This is so powerful. I love that you tapped into that.
Oh, beautiful. And Andrea's asking, how do you find the Black Moon Lilith in your chart?
Well, a very easy way you can do it is you can go to the internet and you can just research Black Moon Lilith astrology symbol. And if you put that and you go to images, it's going to show you the symbol for the Black Moon Lilith. And then you just see where that is in your chart, what house and what sign. Now, of course, if you want to really understand what that energy means for you, you're absolutely welcome to check out my personal sessions where I dive deeply with you into all of these energies as they relate to your journey here, your personality, your purpose, and so forth.
The chat room is just flooding with comments about Black Moon Lilith. This is really alive.
So fascinating. You know, there's not many astrologers that talk about her, but she just suddenly decided to become alive to me in 2019 everywhere. And I couldn't deny her. And so I've been in this very intimate and close journey with the Black Moon Lilith. And today she's just become one of the signatures of my work with astrology. And because I'm one of the few astrologers talking about her, people are very curious. You know, I see this as like she's ready to come out in this aspect of sovereignty, because it's what you were talking about, the anger. This is very much a Black Moon Lilith signature. And going a step further in what you were sharing about just feeling the anger. And yes, it's not about suppressing it at all. We are learning how to find the healthy outlets for it. But taking it a step further in my personal work with the Black Moon Lilith, this aspect of rage, when you understand it and when you're not afraid of it, when you can meet it, sit with that theme, with that rage, and learn. In the beginning, you have to train yourself, but really learn how to meet that emotion as if it was a dragon or a beast. And you're sitting with that just face to face without moving. And when you can learn how to commune with the essence of the Black Moon Lilith, whatever rage it is that you're feeling, in that state of pure relaxation, there's a very powerful dynamic that happens, an alchemical reaction that happens in your body. And this is where you really start to understand the power of the Black Moon Lilith in her sovereignty. And then what I'm starting to teach people now is how to be a step ahead, where you can have the experience and you can feel the power of that experience, but without necessarily the emotion that drags you down of the rage. So you can feel the power of it, but without the distorted emotion connected to it. And this is one of the ways where you start to really understand, wow, it's part of my essence. I can use this to stand with confidence, to talk with confidence. It's fascinating.
You are the perfect example of what people can find on Soul Search. I mean, really, in fact, I'm going to invite you to do an entire Sacred Sunday with me, because
thank you.
And we're getting so many comments from people. People are really, really enjoying this. Tangela, she's your gal. Have you had a chance to have a private session with her? And if so, what did you learn? What did she?
Yes, I have had the honor of doing a private session with Raquel, and it was amazing. And I mean, as you guys are hearing today, like I see all of the comments in the chat, the fascination with the Black Moon Lilith, and, just hearing the way that Raquel is relating astrology to the emotions that we are feeling and that come up, and how we are to deal with them, and how that reflects back to us as individuals, but also in context with what's happening with the wider evolution in the world today. So it's really incredible how, Raquel really connects this astrology on so many different levels. And when, working with her personally, I've also found it was just incredible to be able to have this experience with her, to dive deep into my chart, but then also really understand, okay, how does this relate? How does what I'm doing today relate to, what is happening in the world today, and where we're going in the world, and then and what is the evolution of my own soul's purpose and path as the world continues to evolve. So it's an amazing experience. And I actually would invite Raquel to talk about that as well, just, because you and I have had these discussions both around my chart as well as just with Soul Search and what's happening in the world. We are at a really incredible point, you know, in the world's evolution. And
We
what
are.
does the astrology say about that? And where are we today with that? I'd love to just have you share that with our Global Peace Tribe.
Yeah, I feel like, oh my goodness, everything is so beautiful. This theme of where we're heading, what is this all about? Oh my God, it lights me up. This is the reason why we're here. This is the reason why we're here. We are the theme of all the ancient prophecies and visions and all the mystics that talked about our time. I mean, this is it. And it's really exciting because astrologically, we are getting ready to, well, we already started, but we're closing a massive cycle of history of humanity. And we are transitioning into a brand new one. So because of this is unknown territory in many ways. And what's happening here is that what has been up until now, there are many cycles that are ending right now, big cycles of 200 years, cycles of a couple thousand years. You know, there's this very big one here that we use as one of the main cycles that we're transitioning from into, which is the Age of Aquarius. And you may have heard that term. And so this transition from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, that's another extensive subject, and you know, has to do with where we are at positioned right now in the solar system in reference to the rest of the celestial bodies. But what happens is that when we reach this part of the solar system and we're aligned with new frequencies from different suns and constellations and solar systems, and we're literally receiving new information into our perception, our reality, because we're aligned with a different part of the solar system, if that makes sense. So being aligned, starting to enter this age of Aquarius, which is the segment of the sky that holds the constellation of Aquarius. This is where all of the stars and the whole constellation of Aquarius is at. We are moving from Pisces into Aquarius. So Aquarius is very different than Pisces, very, very different. So what's happening here is that we're getting ready for a complete change of reality. And the analogy I like to use is, this is a good analogy for me because it happened I remember when the internet came in. Okay. And for me, it was like, you know, in the 90s, in the late 90s, I was in Brazil, and that's when like the internet started to become popular, the computers and stuff. And remember that transition from like my grandparents, for example, that had no idea, even until today, it's like a computer internet, but the internet has totally taken over the world. In the matter of a generation, we've gone from that reality into this reality. Well, guess what? The internet is an attribute of Aquarius. So it really was a little bit of that energy starting to seep in and come through, because it's never a one day to the next event. We go through a process, and we still have like about 500 years until we're fully in the age of Aquarius, but we're more than ever in it now. So when the internet came in, it was this night to day shift of reality. All of a sudden we're connecting people from other parts of the world. People can upload stuff, and it shifted our reality. And we're about to experience another one like that, but much bigger. So this is going to be, especially after the year 2024, is the big landmark for where this energy starts to be anchored into our reality. Right now, what we're experiencing is the ending of the old system. The ending of the patriarchal structures, the hierarchy, the very earth-based, because it had to do a lot with the earth elements and so forth, the earth-based models of reality, which includes paper money, it includes fossil fuel, petroleum, like things that are dense, material, physical, and it also includes a lot of the way that our societies are structured around the earth element. And now moving into Aquarius, Aquarius is air. So, and Aquarius is the most intelligent of all the air signs of the zodiac. So with the age of Aquarius coming in, we're receiving a massive upgrade in consciousness. This is the bottom line of it. This is why you are hearing this word called awakening in so many places. And so many people are speaking of the Great Awakening. Well, in my language, using astrology, it's really just a quantum leap in intelligence. Because Aquarius is associated with forward thinking. It's the most intelligent sign of the zodiac is Aquarius. That's where the geniuses come from, the scientist, the very forward thinking with the solutions from the future. So Aquarius is that energy. And so we are bringing that energy in, which means we are going to see a massive shift in the structures of our society. We are going to see a shift in the way things are conducted in our society. The old is not going to work anymore, but it's still going to take about a year for people to catch up and be like, okay, we're done with that. That doesn't work anymore. Waiting for a president to come and save us, like, not going to work. Another feature of Aquarius is the community factor. So kind of distributing the power to maybe the states or the people, and kind of having a little more of that equal understanding and equal say in things is also another attribute that's coming in. Our education system is going to be changing. New technology is going to be coming in so fast. Trust me, when 2024 comes, it's going to be fast from that point on. I hope that helps to explain a little. I don't mean to steal the whole show here.
No, but that was amazing. And I think it's beautiful how you related, these topics that we're all talking about. I mean, that's what Soul Search is here for. We're here for the global awakening. We're here to create community around, this new earth that is now, being given birth to. And we are birthing this new earth together during this age of Aquarius, as part of this age of Aquarius.
And to finalize, Tangela, my work today is not just to help generally people understand what's happening, but also individually, where does your path moving forward fits into all of this? What does it mean for you today? Does that mean that next year, like where are you going into next? What is your participation, your contribution to this stage that is so pivotal for humanity? Beautiful. So yeah, and this is, I feel like what Soul Search also offers is this like opportunity to step into the new model that we're bringing in even now as we speak into our reality, helping people look beyond the traditional ways of spirituality and the practices and start to expand. Everything is new and we're growing.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a whole new paradigm that we're building together, and that is just evolving in front of us. And as Raquel just showed, these are some things, these are topics that we talk about in spiritual community, but they're really, underpinned by what we can see in astrological terms as well, that this is this whole new age of Aquarius bringing forth this, birth of new systems of government, of education, of health, of money, finance, economics. I mean, we are ready for huge transformations and huge shifts. And again, it's up to us, because we are the creators of our own reality. Are we bringing forth these transformations and transitions with love, joy, peace, grace, and ease? Or are we going to look at them with fear and dread and chaos and despair? And, I think with Raquel, it's really beautiful, because when you're able to see your own individual place in this larger evolutionary process that's taking place, you begin to understand that, I'm also a creator in this process. I'm a creator of this evolution and transformation taking place. And I have a say in how this is moving forward, because I actually chose to incarnate here during this time to do this work, to be part of this incredible movement happening. So, I think it's beautiful, Raquel, how you bring all of this together, from the astrological perspective to everyone, and how it's also empowering when you're looking at it from that perspective as well, because you can see your own sovereignty in this.
Thank you. And I'm just going through all the comments here too, and it's just so beautiful. I wish I could go through all of them and answer all of them. They're so amazing. Thank you all for your participation and it's the heart connection, like it speaks to us, because we know we're all feeling it in some way, shape, or form. And I want to honor the ones that are also going through what I've been calling the death process, which is a very sacred and beautiful part of this transition, which is where you're allowing yourself to say goodbye to all of the experiences that you've had up until this point that serve their purpose. And maybe, just maybe now, you don't fully resonate with them anymore. A lot of people are going through these losses of identity where they don't resonate anymore with their job or even the thing they've been wanting to do and preparing for so many years. And now it's just doesn't really mean the same to them anymore. And this is part of the transition process, that we're letting go of the old model of how we used to view our perception of fun, our perception of relationships, our perception of family, mission and purpose. That's all changing. So if you're one of the ones that are experiencing this piece of the transition where it's this loss of identity and you just are in this sacred zero space, honor it. This is your contribution to the transition. Okay, it's not going to last forever. There is a beautiful light coming, and this is where your individual chart is also going to help to clarify that for you. But honor every stage of what you're feeling and this transition.
Raquel, you rocked it out of the park. I'm going to private chat you and see if we can come up with a date for you to either come on Straight Talk or our Friday night show or our Sunday show. And hopefully we'll set that up before tonight ends so I can let people know about it, because people are really responding beautifully.
Yes, I would love to just answer all these comments and dive deep into whatever people are wanting to talk about. Yeah.
Okay, well, and we're going to get more from Raquel because we're going to have a roundtable conversation a little bit later in the show, so she'll be back. But it's time for some music. It's Saturday night, and we always have music on Saturday nights. So I'm going to turn it over to our house musician, High Vibe. Tonight's a high vibe night. It's a high vibe weekend. The people that
It is a high vibe weekend.
You are our high vibe musician, my friend.
Yes, I know. As is everybody who is tuning in right now, I can feel us. And I brought an epic song, and we are all creator beings. And I've been brought in to create a little space for us now where we can just slow down. We can take a few deep breaths. We can drop out of our minds into our heart. And the song I have is called Spiral Through the Stars, and I rarely play it. However, something called me to play it tonight. And it was created, I just read a book by Ken Carey called Return of the Bird Tribes. And also I was looking into Barbara Marx Hubbard's work at this time, and I saw an image of the Earth that is not only orbiting the sun, but the whole system is spiraling through the universe. And so as a result of all this input, I wrote the song called Spiral Through the Stars. And so let's see what it sounds like.
This tale I tell, it has no ending. I'd like you to know we are all on an incredible journey, a heavenly glow. I've been looking at you in your homelands, watching you grow, weaving light into creation, a heavenly glow. I have been inside you for so long, I will be with you forever. Come with me, let's spiral through the stars. presence, a knowing sublime. I've been guiding you beyond your perception, forever your friend. Take some time and get to know me. I'll welcome you home. I'll welcome you home. I have been inside you for so long. I will be with you forever. Come with me, let's spiral through the stars. We have been inside you for so long. We will be with you forever. We'll come with you and spiral through the stars.
There it is.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And it's a trip playing that song because it's so complex, and I know it inside out, but my mind keeps on coming in and directing me on how to play it. And most of these songs are played from pure presence and not from the mind. And so this is just a good exercise for me to know when I'm fully in my heart or just acting from my ego. And so with that, thank you for listening.
Well, thank you, Omashar. And, I put into the chat box, of course, Omashar's YouTube channel. And I just want to encourage everybody, that's where you can get some really wonderful Omashar music. And so you go to YouTube, like I did just now, and you put in Omashar music, and there it is. And of course, last week I played the Kingdom of Gold video when he was at the Relaxpansion Fest. So thank you, Omashar, and he's going to be back with us later on in the show. So
Thank you.
thank you, bro. All right, you asked for magic. You asked for Paul Draper, and the Global Peace Tribe is delivering. Here he is. Paul Draper is back.
Hello.
He was on the Discovery Channel last week. Many of you might have.
Oh, I lost your sound.
Here I am. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So welcome back. Paul is one of our absolute favorite presenters who's been on the show many, many times. He turns me into a 10-year-old boy because I can't understand how he does the amazing things that he does. And he's also a super cool guy. You've seen him on the History Channel, A&E, HBO, Hallmark, Travel, Discovery, and on and on and on. And the other thing I want to just say about Paul, every day he does at least one free show for a senior citizen home, a school, especially during the pandemic, people needing to be cheered up. He's one of the most generous human beings I know. And a lot of the Global Peace Tribe people have reached out to you and you've supported them. So thank you, Paul.
Absolutely. It's such an honor to be back to play again. Okay, time for a little magic. So like
Let's
Scott said, like Scott said, one of the goals of magic is to turn us back into 10-year-olds. One of my favorite things to do in the summer when I was 10 was take a quarter down to the machines at the local 7-Elevens, right, and turn it into a ball, get some sort of, I lost it, get some sort of toy, something fun to play with, make sure that I could pretend to be a magician. And remember, always it's about having a ball. It's always about having fun with everybody and sharing that. So what I'd like to have is I want someone from the audience who's not one of our normal speakers, because now we have this new venue. You can play. Somebody raise your hand and say you want to come on and play, and maybe one of our hosts will bring you up on screen, co-spotlight you with me.
Sandra, did you raise your hand?
Sandra, will you come up and play?
I thought I saw her raise her hand.
Bring her up.
Okay, there she is.
Hello. Will you unmute yourself, Sandra? Hi, Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, thanks for playing. And is that a book you wrote right there? Labyrinth Path to Light and
Yeah, right.
Oh, how
Art and
beautiful.
poetry.
That's so colorful, so fun. I want you to help me with something. I have a stick here with a whole bunch of different colored gems. If you've seen me before on the show, you know that I was the last magician at Disneyland. And this is some of the wood and some of the gems from Pirates of the Caribbean. They were refurbishing it, and I asked them if I could have some of them. Would you name a number between 1 and 6 for me?
3.
3. 1, 2, 3. Your color is green right there. Green. Ready. 1, 2, 3. Now they're all green. Not only on that side, Sandra, but they're all green on both sides. You did a perfect job. Now over here, I have a collection of beautiful fans. They're all different colors, all the way up and down just like that. Let me put it back, on top of this and put it back down. Sandra, if I take and I wave this over the top, ready, 1, 2, 3, all the colors come back. If all the colors come back, what color are the fans now? What color are they going to be?
Oh, if they all come back?
It's all going to be your color right there, every single one of them.
My God.
Number 3, the color you chose, they're all going to be green. Now, maybe I was a little bait and switch there, so I want to take it a bit further. I have a treasure chest with 6 different colors in it. Which one is your favorite?
I think the yellow.
Yellow. Right there, down in front, you chose that your favorite is the yellow. Now, right in here in this drawer, I made a prediction before you even raised your hand. You didn't know you were going to come on. I didn't know you were going to come on. But I made a prediction of what color I thought would be chosen tonight. And in here, I have one color and one color only. Your color, that golden color right there. Give Sandra a round of applause. Thanks so much, Sandra. Oh,
Great job, Sandra. Great job.
Great job,
Thank
Sandra.
you.
Okay, I'd like to bring up somebody else. Is there time to bring up one more person?
Absolutely. We got plenty of time.
Bring up
Who else
somebody
wants to play?
Who wants to play?
Don't be shy. Raise your hand.
Join us.
All right, Josie Ann. Josie Ann.
Hi there.
Hello,
What's your name?
Josiane.
Josiane. Where are you, Josiane?
I am in Miami.
Miami. Oh, I was just in Doral just a few weeks ago. What a beautiful place, Miami.
Yeah.
So I have a deck of cards. All the cards are different on this side. They're all different playing cards. But on the back, they're all different cards from all different casinos. See, they're from all different casino cards in Las Vegas. All different cards. Have you ever been to Las Vegas?
Yes.
Yes. Inside this box, I have a prediction. So this is what we're going to do. You're going to stop me on a card. I have the Sands, the Link, Caesar's Palace, Sahara, anyone you want, Excalibur, another Caesar's, Bally's, Giordano's, Sahara, Red Rock, Bellagio, Las Vegas Casino, the Dunes, the Golden Nugget, any of them. What one do you want? Mandalay Bay. Excalibur. We'll go back a little bit to the Excalibur. There's the dunes, the Las Vegas. Right there is, can you read it on there?
I don't have glasses.
Yes, it says Excalibur.
Excalibur right there. We'll put that one right here. Now we'll go with the face cards. You stop me on any number card. 3, 5, 2, 5, 6,
Stop.
2. Oh, do you want the 2 of diamonds?
Six.
The 6 of hearts. 6 of hearts? Yes. Okay. The 6 of hearts right there. Now inside of this box, I have a prediction of what I think you will choose. And that prediction is, oh no, oh no, oh no.
Yeah, it
It's
says the Luxor. Wrong
and
one.
the 7 of diamonds. The Luxor and the 7 of diamonds. I'm in trouble. You didn't choose the Luxor or the 7 of diamonds. But luckily on the back, you got the 7 of diamonds, and that is the Luxor.
Oh, wow.
Give her a round of applause. Great job. I'm so glad that we chose you. You're the one. We can send her away now. Thanks so much. Coming all the way from Miami. It's important to remember in this show, I like this as an explanation. I have some earth, some air, some water, some fire. It's important that the water of the earth and the earth itself, we have to protect the water to keep the earth healthy. But we have to also have the water and the air, keep the air healthy to keep the water healthy, and the water to keep the earth healthy. And sometimes fire, that alchemical fire in ourselves, or sometimes the fires that burn, we use them in order to reestablish and cleanse the air, the water, the earth, all of the pieces connected, every single one of them. The only problem is we don't always have the ability to see how they're connected. We know that they are, we're taught that they are, but we don't know. Even when we break it apart piece by piece, inch by inch like science and look inside, they don't seem to be connected at all. But we know in our hearts that they are, and that we have to all work together. I sure like coming on and sharing some magic, Scott. Do you want me to do more or come back for the next piece?
Absolutely. I would love for you to show, do you want to show the video of
Absolutely. So if anybody has any social media, if you have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, any of it, right now I'm on the Discovery Channel on all of their social media pages because I'm a new cast member on a show called Josh Gates Tonight, the guy that does Expedition Unknown on the Discovery Channel. And here's a little teaser clip that I'm going to share of my most recent appearance.
Are you up first?
I am. I'm going to show you something you've never seen before. You ready? Spoons! No, they're just two solid metal spoons. Those are tablespoons, serving spoons.
I can examine these.
Yes, absolutely. Check them out.
These are totally real, normal spoons. These are not trick spoons.
No, big, heavy-duty spoons. One of these two is going to bend in your hand.
No, it's not.
Which one?
This one.
Okay, I'll have you place one hand on top of mine, one underneath.
Sure.
One
on top, one underneath. Okay.
Am I putting enough pressure on that to bend steel?
No.
It's going to start to bend in between our hands. Look in there. You will see it actively bending.
What?
You see it bending?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if you can tell. There is now a slight difference between those two spoons. Grab hold of that.
Yes.
Really grab the whole bowl. Pull. No, pull hard. Pull hard. Pull hard. Pull hard. That's a solid piece of metal, right? And yet, just a wiggle and a wave, and it just melts straight down, just like this. There's nowhere that's dug into my hand, nowhere it's dug into my flesh.
No.
But with enough strength, you can take it, straighten that out. Only in the movies, though, can you get it to do this, where the metal on its own twists.
Wait a minute.
And turns like a corkscrew. That'll never be straight again. But you can still stir your hot drinks, eat your cereal. That's now part of your collection.
It is literally permanently bent this way.
Forever.
How did you just do this? Amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
Shot live at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, California.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Paul, it's great to have you back with us. You can find out all about Paul. I put it in the chat box, and we'll see you go to his website after his next segment. Paul, You're the best. Thanks.
See you soon. Bye.
Okay. All right, I'm going to bring my co-host back up in a moment to introduce Nicole. But one of the people that came on with us was Josie Ann. And now a lot of you who come to the Friday night show saw her because she's one of our guests last night. And again, part of the New Awakening world is we're going to be much more interactive. And so some of you that, like for example, I just saw the woman who wrote a book, so maybe we'll have Sandra sometimes share with us a piece of her poetry. Josie Ann is a brilliant author, and she's also an incredible coach. And so we wanted on our first Friday night show, since it's all about the new season, it was like, okay, how can we have better relationships during this new season? Summer for us up northern, winter for down under. And Josie Ann, along with my good buddy Paul Sterling, offered great tips, tools, and practices for better relationships. So I want to encourage everybody to go back and watch last night's Friday Night Awakening show. You can find it on YouTube. And also those of you who have registered that are in our Zoom room, every Monday we send out all the replays. So you get the replay of Josie Ann, Paul, and myself on Friday night. You'll get the replay of tonight. You can go back and hear all that Raquel did. You can try and figure out how Paul does his magic. And of course, the replay for tomorrow's show, the Sacred Sunday show. So Josie Ann, you're a very beloved member of Global Peace Tribe. And you're off to Paris tomorrow, yeah?
I am. Thank you so much, Scott. What a platform. This is such a heart-opening way to start the awakening of the whole humanity right now. Just being on the awakening world and knowing that people just like Raquel are helping, to really bring our heart in coherence with the rest of Gaia and the universe and the cosmos, I should say. So I love it. And just tell Raquel that right now, as a researcher, science is getting their act together in order to bring this understanding of the heart biologically and really at the level of understanding who we are as humans, as I mentioned yesterday. It's all about the heart, it's all about love, and we have to remember that compassionate love is the way.
Well, there you are. She's right there, and you just told her yourself. Anything you want to respond to, Raquel?
I fully agree. There's so much that's changing right now, but it's all just changing as a consequence of our ability to receive it. And this is where the beauty of the process is at. Yeah, our ability to receive it. The more that we allow our awareness to expand and move beyond just the immediate gratifications or the pleasures or the distractions around us, but really allow that awareness to come in, then, hey, when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and we start finding all the science starts to validate the things for us. And it really is co-creation that we're doing together. So beautiful.
It is indeed. It's this is a challenging but very rewarding moment in our lives, and we all chose it, and we have to gather our courage and know that there's a reason to this madness, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, have a safe flight to Paris. And maybe, we're going to have correspondents coming in from all over the world. So let's stay in touch, and let's have you maybe come on for a few minutes from Paris. All right?
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you so much. Big kiss.
Absolutely. Last week we had Trish coming in from the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade. So we'll arrange to have Josie Ann coming in from Paris. That'll be fun. All right. I'm going to bring back on my wonderful co-host, Tangela, if I can find her here.
Hello, I'm here with our beautiful friends, Renee and Anthony.
Oh my God, there they are. Hey, Renee and Anthony.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
From Blue Soul Earth, and also my very dear friends, and also part of our Soul Search family.
Yes, absolutely. We are definitely part of Soul Search, and we love it.
And we're here. I'm actually a guest at their home today, and I just wanted to bring them on to say hello. I think a lot of you have met Anthony and Renee because they have been on Global Peace Tribe show before. And for those of you who are not familiar with Blue Soul Earth, Anthony's a full embodied channeler, and the energies come through Renee and out through Anthony, and he channels Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, all of the galactics, gods, goddesses, ascendant masters. And actually, my first introduction to the galactics was through Anthony and Renee. Yes, and through the multidimensional realms. So definitely they're great friends of mine, and also great friends of Global Peace Tribe. So we have to say hello.
We're huge fans of Global Peace Tribe, and we love you, Scott. And love being on your show. You have a great community here, and we're just super supportive of the work that you guys are doing.
Well, let's definitely have you on the show again, because you were on Saturday Night Live, and then recently when we did the Whole Life Expo show, or the Conscious Life Expo show, you were on with us. And just briefly tell us a little bit about Blue Soul Earth, because I know that's a beautiful platform that you've created. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, we do courses. We do Study with Spirit courses over at studywithspirit.com, and we teach and channel online. We just did our first post-COVID retreat, which was pretty exciting for us, our first physical event where we channeled. It was all about bringing the divine masculine and feminine together. And so it was 3 full days packed with channeling Mary Magdalene and Yeshua to bring those beautiful energies together. So our work is primarily focused on that connection, right, of bringing and weaving and integrating that divine masculine and feminine together by channeling both of these energies. So that's primarily our work, and we're working on a couple of channeled books right now, so TBD on when those will be out, but they're both channeled by Yeshua and Magdalene.
And I would highly recommend their work and their classes. Actually, when they came to Sedona recently, we were able to host a Soul Search workshop that they did, channeling Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, which was amazing. We all really loved it. And
and then Metatron and Melchizedek came through.
Exactly. And the Hathors and the Arcturians and the Ontarians. And I've also had the pleasure of taking several courses with Mary Magdalene through Anthony and Renee. And that was just incredible to be able to connect with Mary Magdalene on that level, hear about her life, her experiences with Yeshua. And much like we were talking about with Raquel today with Black Moon Lilith, this is the return of the divine feminine, return of Gaia. And Mary Magdalene is really a leading force in that energy, and to be able to connect with her so viscerally and to hear her messages and to feel her fervor. She's very strong. It was really amazing. Yeah. So
the best way to describe it is if Yeshua is all about pure divine love and, you know, divine, the Christ consciousness, bringing that in. The Magdalene is about putting the fire underneath all of us to kickstart what we need to do, right? To on this ascension.
And Renee,
process.
what's the website? Someone's asking.
I've actually, here it is. The website is bluesoulearth.com. bluesearth.com. And so definitely everybody put in your name and, subscribe so you can learn all about what they do, awake and ignite your soul. And you've got all sorts of things on this website. So it's, again, bluesoulearth.com. And, one of the things that I've always enjoyed about both of you is that you really do demonstrate the beautiful weaving of the masculine and the feminine as a couple, because you work together and you live together and you're a beautiful couple, but also that Mary Magdalene gets equal partnership, which is really the way I believe it. I've always said, wouldn't it be beautiful if the church we grew up in, instead of a guy hanging on a cross who died for our sins, if it was Mary Magdalene and Jesus in Yab Yab, like if that's what we were worshiping, imagine what our world would be like, yeah?
Exactly. Really
I
amazing.
think it's really all about now just rewriting timelines in a way, right? It's just getting us to bring that consciousness to a level, right, where we're not following that old outdated paradigm anymore.
Well, all of those old teachings, that we were taught to be the truth, we're now coming forth and hearing something very different, which is, enlivening and opening for all of us. So really excited that you guys can
thank you for having us.
Anthony and Renee here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute. It turns out that a week from tomorrow, on my Sacred Sunday show, my guest that I've lined up is a scholar who has studied the various understandings of who Yeshua or Jesus was. Is there any chance you could come on my Sacred Sunday show? That would be Sunday, July 10th, a week from tomorrow, at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and be on that show?
Sure. We'll be in Mount Shasta speaking at a conference, but I think we're on at 1 p.m. I think I'll double check, but
double check. We've got to let's and let me know, and it would be perfect to have you on that show.
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to, and I'm pretty sure we're not speaking at 10. So
okay, great.
We'll just say yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Figure it out.
Awesome. I'm glad we're able to make this happen.
Yay!
Perfect.
All right.
That's the beauty of our community, right? We can make all this happen on the fly.
Yeah.
So,
and this is how Global Peace Tribe works and how we're growing and how we're building. So great to see you. We'll be in contact, and looking forward to seeing you a week from tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good, Scott. Thank you. And nice to meet you all.
And Tangela, do you want to introduce Nicole, who's our next speaker?
Thank you. I'll see you downstairs. Yes. So thank you for that. So now that you all have met my dear friends Anthony and Renee, I'm also so overjoyed to introduce my dear friend and colleague, business colleague, and soul partner in Soul Search, Nicole Keating. And Nicole is really incredible. She is a divine architect for spiritual leaders. And you might ask, like, what does that even mean? But she's really someone who can support spiritual entrepreneurs and leaders to source their businesses and ideas to manifest in this new paradigm in fun ways, creative, sustainable, and in highly conscious ways that align with the life that they love. And it's really amazing because, Nicole is currently working with me at Soul Search, really leading our whole Platinum Mastermind program, which Raquel is a part of as well. And, we do a lot of work in partner with Scott, but she also supports other spiritual businesses as well. And she really supports spiritual entrepreneurs to birth their highest aligned visions into the world. And, she's really amazing. She designs and leads multidimensional experiences, retreats, curriculum that support really massive transformation. And she's trained in the appreciative inquiry process and facilitates all types of incredible online and offline experiences and events, which I've also had the pleasure of being a part of and I'm amazed by. So thank you so much, Nicole, for being here with us and joining us today.
Nicole, it's great to have you with us. And of course, I had the honor of Nicole co-hosting a Sacred Sunday with me a few weeks ago. People have asked, where's your dog, Scott? So here she is. I'm staying at a house across the street from a park, and it's that time when everybody's walking their dogs. So she sits at the window and watches as they go by and barks and says hello. And Nicole, what we're doing today, and I'd love to have you chat, is any input, tools that you have. It's a new chapter of life. It's summer for most of us, winter for our friends down under. And so as we enter a new season of life, what are some of your tips, your tools, your practices for us to get the most out of life at this time? So that's the kind of the topic of the weekend.
Beautiful. Yes. And I received so much from dropping in with Raquel and hearing what you guys were talking about. And I have to give her a little shout out because I feel that my session with Raquel, when I first moved to Sedona, which has been about 2 years now, or maybe a little less, she helped me to see and to know my divine blueprint, my soul's blueprint. And that's going to get into some of my tips. But one of the things that she helped me to realize in doing a session with her was that I have both this very deep elements of Scorpio coming in with past life psychic gifts and offerings that I've mastered in other lives. And I didn't know that, but I was starting to really wake up over the last 2 years. And there was this side of me. I'm a Gemini. I've got 4 placements of air. So I'm a Gemini Aquarius rising. So I'm very much in in that new earth energy, I can feel and see and connect to the future and where we're going. And I think, you know, I work with Metatron. That's become clear to me this year. And I can kind of grab energetically those futuristic systems and ideas and creations and start to pull them in. And that's also how I work with my clients. But what was so cool about working with Raquel is she helped me to realize that before I worked with her, I felt pulled back and forth between, and maybe some of you can relate to this. I felt pulled between the deepness and the depth of who I was in the scorpionic, deep wanting to transform and go really deep, to this other playful, light, airy, creative, innovative side. And she showed me through my soul blueprint with her that's both of who I am, and that is actually my essential magic. And so thank you, Raquel, for that, because I feel like I've been truly living into that purpose. And I feel like that's part of what's coming forth for everyone is to, you know, we're going out of the age of the guru and into the age of like, who am I? What is my essential signature magic, you know? And so play and depth is part of mine. And I learned that. And so each one of you, sometimes we have, what I've been noticing is there's these, I've come to realize recently that many of the random things that I've done in my life are now coming together in a culmination of my magic stack, right? Like my bag of magic arrows that I work with, you know, having had a podcast and building an online brand back in 2015, understanding that, learning systems, being an artist, being a creative, speaking and being a communicator, like all these little things are now coming together to be like, oh, this is exactly what fits in my divine purpose right now. So I believe that a lot of us are being gifted new insight into who we're to be now. And it's not, we're going out of the age of the following and into the age of embodiment as a practice. So one of the things I've also learned, and this might be helpful, is just to bring into focus each day, who and what are you to be embodying? So for me, when, you know, really coming into connection with your essence. So I feel that, you know, one of my essence is joy, play, and like I was saying, the depth, right? So what are practices that you can do each morning to bring your essence into focus? I just learned of a new practice that I actually am so excited to embody. I have a buffalo drum, a beautiful, magical buffalo drum that was made by Walking Crow, who's a incredible artist here in Sedona that makes his own drums and does it with ceremony under the full and new moon. And so it came to my attention actually just this week to drum my intention in the morning, drum my intention for the day, drum the words, that the essence of who I want to be. So really, I think one of the things that's also coming into focus is the multidimensionality of all things. So what does that mean? It's really the layering of who we are, the layering of who we're being, the layering of how we work. Like, can't we weave play, self-care, nurture, fun, joy into our work? Like, they don't have to exist separately. I feel like there's a massive convergence happening. And something that I've personally noticed is that when I make sure I make time for my connection and for my play practices, like dance, like we have dance here on the Red Rocks in Sedona. That's one of the things that if I do that, then the next day or that night, I'm so creative that I don't have to, you know, cajole myself into a space of creativity. I just naturally am there because I've been tending to my personal signature garden, if that makes sense. So what I would love for y'all to think about, that Southern girl just came out. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. I don't think I've said y'all in a while, but what I would love for y'all to tune into is what are some of the words that are your signature embodiment, your signature essence? Like, what are some of the things that that you emanate? It might be compassion, it might be ferocity, it might be kindness. What are some of those words? And then how can you connect that essence with your actual practices in your day? That's some of the things I'm noticing are shifting in this new paradigm, Scott. The other
I was muted, so the
Oh, that's
beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, thank you. And I love your enthusiasm. You have fantastic enthusiasm, and I love that we got the Southern goddess y'all coming out. And we've got some people, I know Janet from Alabama is with us. She's a Southern goddess that's somewhere in our Zoom room here. And Josiane, I'll put her on for a second. She's a Southern goddess because she's from Florida. So we love our Southern belles. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, we know how to host folks in the South with love.
You had earlier been singing Raquel's praises, and I brought her on camera, but she didn't get a chance to respond. So I want to give her a moment for you two, because you two are both in Sedona together, yeah?
Nicole is such a dear, dear, dear sister, and just so, I love you so much, Nicole. I'm going to tell you that after our session, Nicole, your life changed so much. You changed so much. And it really is this element of clarity. And this is what I most love about the work that I do with astrology when I sit down for sessions with people, is that your chart will show you exactly everything about who you are, what you think is a challenge, or what Nicole said, I have this super intense side of me, but I also have this really playful side. Astrology will help you understand the entirety of who you are to help validate all the things you already know about yourself and to just ease you into being who you are. We spend so long like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so intense in this moment and so playful? There's nothing wrong. It's actually all perfectly designed so that you can fulfill a certain set of experiences here and a purpose. So astrology just helps you to understand yourself on such a deep level, so that when you're done with the session, you feel like, okay, nothing's wrong with me. And you actually have more confidence to just step into who you are. So that's exactly what happened with Nicole. Nicole was a very extreme example. Like, she got it right away, and her life has just been spiraling upward ever since. It's been amazing. And your gifts also are just like coming out so strongly, huh? Your intuition, it's very beautiful.
Yes. And part of, sometimes there's things that we know, but then we doubt ourselves. I remember you saying, like, you have to know that as your gifts come online, like lean into that. Like, I remember you telling me, like, you come in with all these different masteries. And so I've really been embracing that over the last year or two, and just noticing. And I work with appreciative inquiry. So I do a lot of personal inquiry. That's also one of my practices, is like, I wonder how this is happening for me. I wonder what I'm supposed to learn here. Like, I play and I co-create with the inquiry process to be in discovery. And so I've been in discovery with my gifts, like with some psychic stuff coming online, getting messages, and then seeing them happen. And then now I'm like actually like following up on them. Hey, this came through, and then checking in with someone later and seeing if I'm just playing with it. I'm not making it the be all or the end all, but I'm in the process of like, almost like a hummingbird, like, whoa, what is this? This is like, it's just magical, and it's here, and I get to experience it in this moment. And I feel like spirit or source really responds to the energy of curiosity and play. And I would say that feels like it's a very important part of the new earth or heaven on earth paradigm, is that that we we get to show up for all of this, show up in the seriousness, but also show up in the joy and the play, and that is one of the essential energies of creating in the new earth, because it allows us to be flexible and open and to dance with life. We're meant to dance with life. And when you dance with it, it dances back, like truly. So I invite you to play and dance with it and see what happens for you. And even just, I have a motto, and I don't even know, I've learned this many years ago from someone else, but it's become my mantra, which is get curious, not furious. So yeah, it's that way of being that allows you to alchemize very quickly. And I would say that's another thing for where we're going is we're in a moment of this came through earlier, ride or be ridden, which kind of sounds kind of weird, but it's like there's these big waves crashing, this big energy, these big changes and shifts, and like get up on that surfboard and ride the wave, ride the energy. Or, it can come crashing on you and you're like feeling like it's all, taking over. So I feel like there's the rise or release energy, like rising into our love, our joy, our power, our purpose, and releasing the things that no longer serve with love, releasing with compassion and kindness, but definitely like we're not meant to hold it all. We're meant to be creating this new paradigm. And so we're meant to hold the vision and hold the mission and the ideas. And we do have a foot on the ground, we have a foot in the old systems, and we are navigating, we're bridging the transition right now. So the rise or release. And also what's really changing is that we're learning how to see through the lens of the heart, feel through the lens of the heart, act and speak, like taking all of our senses and channeling them through the heart. And that the heart will never steer you wrong. So those are some of the things I'm tuning into at this time.
Fantastic. So we are going to go now into the next part of the agenda, which is a roundtable conversation with these three incredible women. And we're going to take your questions. Because again, the new awakening world is much more interactive with you, our audience. And so, and I see Paul Sterling's in the house. So Paul, I'm going to bring you on in a moment. But I want to get to some of the questions that have come in. And everybody, put your questions in again, because there's so many that have come in. Put them in again, because I'm going to go with the ones that are closest. There was a question for you, Raquel, about if somebody doesn't know a particular, their time of birth, how they can figure out their astrology.
Yes, thank you for that. I saw that too. And I saw afterwards Nancy saying that she asked her mom and found out it was 120. And I want to comment on that too, because as an astrologer, I will tell you that not 90%, not 95%, not even 98%, 100% of the time that we've relied on parents' memory, it was inaccurate.
Wow.
Later on, the person found the birth certificate or something happened, totally different. So I personally, as an astrologer, I will only work with people that have their birth time from the birth certificate, because it's a very serious responsibility for an astrologer to, give predictions and so forth. So what do I recommend if you don't have your birth time? The easiest thing you can do, which is the quickest and the safest for most people, this works, is you order a second copy of your birth certificate online. Very easy. You just go online and a lot of people actually have success with a phone call. They call the hospital. They are supposed to keep all of that information in their records, so they have access to it. And a lot of people get that information with one phone call. But if you want, you can go online, order a second copy of your birth certificate, make sure the option to include the time is included in it. And then they'll send you the second copy with your birth time included. That's my answer.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Raquel. And I've got great news. we have been chatting, and Raquel is going to be our primary guest next Friday night on the Friday Night Awakening World. That's Friday night, 7:30 Pacific time and 10:30 Eastern. So we're going to go deep into your questions about astrology and about what's happening on our planet. And again, it's all about the awakening world.
Yeah.
So,
Prepare your questions. Come ready with your questions, and I'll see you on Friday.
Great. And for those of you watching on Facebook, if you haven't registered yet, you're going to want to register. Go to globalpeacetribe.com. Register. You'll get the links for all the shows, including our Friday night show. And the links are going to work for the next 3 months. We're going to have an amazing summer. So looking forward to that, Raquel. And we'll take more questions for Raquel in a moment. But there was a question that came in for you, Tangela. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a question about how somebody can use the Soul Search platform to create events. If they have online events, can they use your platform to help market and promote their events?
Sure, that's a great question. Sorry, I did not see that. We had a very busy chat today, so it was hard to keep up with everything happening. But that's a great question. So basically, yes, you can create events on the Soul Search platform, and we have 2 ways to do that. So one is, in order to really post your events as an event in the Soul Search community, you do need to be a gold member of our platform. So we have 2 parts of our platform. One is the directory, which is where you go to when you visit soulsearch.io. And then from there, you can visit our community, which is its own community, and there's a separate sign-in for that. So once you are a gold practitioner on our directory, you're able to go into our community and actually add your events. And that's great if you're doing online events, because we have people from all over the country always asking me for online events, because they're like, I'm not in Sedona, I'm not in San Francisco. I want to be, attending some of these incredible offerings that you guys have. So you can definitely do that. You can also just join the community and just post as anyone can just kind of post a comment, and you can post an event. It won't show up on our calendar, but you can just post it on there and let people know that that's happening. So those are 2 ways to do that. And it's really easy to just jump in and join. And again, I invite everyone, like if you guys had fun here with amazing Raquel and Nicole, they're both part of our community. They're both on there, and that's another opportunity to interact with them and some of our other amazing practitioners and as you can see from just what Raquel and Nicole have been talking about, we are all here for this global awakening, and we're here to co-create this global awakening together. And we're doing that through building relationships, building friendships, creating businesses together, creating events together. And this is about not working in a vacuum and feeling separate, because and feeling alone because we feel like we don't have people who don't understand what we're going through during these times, but saying, oh wow, there's a community out there that I can connect with people that I can actually talk to about what's happening at a global level, at an evolutionary level, and also try to have a better understanding of where is my role in this, and what are some of the new tools that I have to be moving forward in this new paradigm, which is like what Raquel and Nicole were talking about as well. And I think a lot of the topics that Nicole brought up, such as embodiment and play and fun, that is so empowering, because we're coming from Piscean age of struggle, of competition, of co-optation, and we are now looking to move forward in a completely new way. And so what better way to do it but really connect with like-minded people, with new friends, new family, where we're really doing this together, and we're committed because we know that's why we came here.
Beautiful. Paul Sterling is in the house, and Paul was on the show, of course, last night. He is a brilliant master relationship coach and a big part of the awakening world. It's all about our relationships. And obviously, we do a lot about our relationship to the earth. We do a lot of environmental shows. But our relationship to people and to human beings are probably one of the most difficult things in life. And so, again, just as I introduced Josiane, who was also on last night, I just want to bring Paul back on for a minute because he's a brilliant coach. I encourage everybody, watch the replay. Let's get into the rhythm of, if you can't be on one of the shows live, watch the replay, and you'll get the replays if you've registered. On Monday morning, we send out the replays for all the shows. So definitely catch last night's show because there was some really important relationship tips and tools, including the great Paul Sterling. And Paul has worked very hard to create an app. So Paul, tell us a little bit about the app you've created and briefly about the work that you do to help people communicate.
Well, let me set up the framework first. It's like, if you think about it, almost every relationship problem starts as a communication problem. And almost every relationship solution starts as a communication solution. So how can communication be both the problem and the solution? And the challenge here is almost everybody here on the call, we're all taught how to talk, but very few of us were taught how to communicate, how to actually, we're very good at doing monologues, but not very good at doing dialogues. And so what I did, I've been coaching for couples for almost 30 years and, studied with Tony Robbins and Marshall Thurber and Byron Katie. And what I realized is a lot of my clients need me not at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but 2 o'clock in the morning when they're in a big upset. And so I decided to create an app called Bridging the Gap Between Us, how to be heard, understood, and valued in your relationship. And basically it's a 6-week program then it's on your phone. And it's learning how to talk so your partner wants to listen, learning how to listen so your partner wants to open up and talk, learning how to avoid triggering your partner or getting triggered, because there are 5 main triggers. I wrote a best-selling book called Argue Less, Love More, and it's all about those triggers. And then how to recognize when there is a breakdown in the relationship and how to recover and repair from that. So what we're doing, Scott, is taking people through 6 weeks, a deep dive. So every week there's a meeting on a Sunday. And do you have the link up? Can you show
I do.
them?
Yeah. Let me pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And so if you look at it right there, it's at arguelesslovemore.net/bridge. arguelesslovemore.net. And you can see the address right there, /bridge. And there's 6 weeks of content. And Sundays, we do an interactive live hour-and-a-half deep dive webinar. And then during exercises, and then you anybody and you exit, because what you practice is what's going to become permanent. Practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanent. So you need to practice the things that you want to learn about compassionate communication and transform it, because the quality of your relationships based on the quality of your communication. And when that falls apart, so does your relationship. So join us. It's $297. You're going through the beta test with the technology. But you're going to get, because you're doing that, you're going to get a lot more live time with me. And if you've got burning issues and you want to, just get some one-on-one coaching, you can go to the arguelesslovemore.net and sign up for a breakthrough session. And I love what people are saying. And Nicole, I was listening to you and got my 4 words just recently, which is courage, compassion, connection, and curiosity. And I've been working on those. So, and thank you, Scott, again, for the community you bring together. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And a lot of people are commenting on how much they're getting out of this and enjoying and this is like our new format. We're going to make it much more interactive, more questions. And again, stick around, Paul. There might be another relationship question that comes in. But we do have a question for you, Raquel. And this is from Lawrence. And his question is, I'm looking for it. Here it is. Raquel, I'd like to know what you think the influence on our lives is due to. How much of it is soul history, Akashic record, past lives, this life, astrology, and I'll throw in one that he didn't mention, which is epigenetics, our genealogy and our ancestral history. So, and that's actually, you know what, I'm going to open that question up to everybody. We'll start with Raquel, but I'd like to hear everybody's take on the balance of those things that influence our lives and how to work with that. It's a great question, Lawrence, but we'll start with Raquel.
Yeah, it's a great question. And I can tell you from my personal experience as an astrologer, working for many years with different charts and studying the process. I personally went through my period that lasted for maybe a couple years where I just had so many questions. When I opened the door to astrology, I was like, what's going on? How come this over here is mapping out that in 2 years from now, the guy I just got married to, I'm going to be divorcing him? What is going on? Like, what is this? And I had so many questions and I started to demand answers. And I said, do we have free will? What is this all about? So I actually had a really profound segment of my spiritual awakening that involved astrology. So I dove deep into all those questions and piecing all of that. And so through my experience of working with astrology and also, you know, coming into the answers to all those questions, do we have free will and what is this all about? And working with different people and looking at their journey, their blueprint and everything, what I can tell you today as an astrologer with confidence is that it's all related. Now, in astrology, with my personal work with astrology, I do look at the signature that we call past lives. Now, you can relate it to your family lineage, to DNA memory, to soul memory, to subconscious memory, past lives. These are experiences that you've already had. And in astrology, these point to a place of experience that you've already evolved. You've already lived, you've already mastered. And now where you are at as a soul, you need to keep going to experience other things and keep growing. So, you know, the astrology really shows not just the past lives, but also where you're at today with all of that and what it is you're supposed to go into next. Because all of these masteries you had with past lives and so forth, they don't go anywhere. They stay with you. They stay as a part of your subconscious memory, your blueprint. So it really is this progression of evolution that is happening. And so all these different stages of, you know, the Akashic records, they're part of what holds some of the memory of that. But everything is completely intertwined into one continual process of evolution. So you can use all these systems to determine elements of this journey. And they're all beautiful in their own way. And what I love about astrology in specific is that it gives you not just the where you're coming from, but also what you're developing here, what you're growing into, and how you are contributing to the expansion of evolution, of life, of creation, of yourself. It's all one and the same.
Beautiful response. That's a beautiful response. I'll go to Tangela, my co-host, next. What's your thoughts on this wonderful question?
I think that's an amazing question and a great one because, you know, as we delve into all these different modalities, people are like, you know, so what works and what doesn't work? Like, why do I need to explore all of these different realms? And you don't have to explore any of them if you don't want to. But I think as Raquel was saying, it all gives clues to our evolutionary process and where we're going, where we've been, if we're doing things like past life regression or shamanic journeys, going into our Akashic records, and also where we're going, you know, tapping into our activations, tapping into, you know, our astrology chart, looking at our galactic families and where that, you know, those energies and where those may take us. There's you know, connecting with different channels. There's so many different ways. And I think, you know, it's never that we don't have free will. We are completely sovereign beings. But, you know, what's amazing now is that we have access to all of these gifts that give us such a multi-dimensional opportunity to explore who we are in the fullness of ourselves. You know, we are so much more
than what society has told us up until now. We are so much more than our gender and the color of our skin and the place we were born and the culture we came from. And we're not just here to check off these boxes of school, job, marriage, kids. You know, we are here as divine spiritual beings having a human experience, and we are in the moment where this human experience is about to explode. And so we are taking this human experience to a whole new level, because as we remember the fullness of who we are, we begin to remember all of these incredible supernatural abilities, intuitive capabilities, gifts that we have always had and we've just forgotten. So this process of remembrance that we are in right now is this incredible unfolding that only contributes to our sovereignty and our empowerment, and us really knowing and understanding who we are as an essence and as a spiritual and divine being. So I think, you know, all of these opportunities to connect with all of these different parts of ourselves is such a beautiful gift that we have now. And none of them are to direct us and say, this is how your life has to be. But they're all here as guideposts saying, this is who you are and the fullness of who you are. And you have the full power and sovereignty of your own being to now step into that even more fully, even more powerfully than you could have ever imagined.
Beautifully stated, Tangela. Absolutely beautiful. All right, we're going to go to Nicole and then Paul Sterling.
Yes, thank you. I love both of your answers, Tangela. I totally agree. I would like to add that we are creator beings. So these tools, I think of them as sort of navigation tools. So for me, I do like to check my astrology every morning. I see it sort of as the weather map of what the potentialities are. But I'm a huge believer in we get to choose. I choose. So one of the things I've stopped using the word problem or challenge. And if I catch myself, I pause and I say, what's the opportunity? So we have the power to shift our patterning, shift our language, to direct our creative energy towards what we want to create. And so, you know, if you were to check your astrology and it would say, today you have the opportunity, or you have, you know, challenges may arise with a loved one or in a relationship. Well, you can see that as, oh, interesting. I'm going to walk with grace and more patience today. I'm going to pause. I'm going to respond versus react. So you can see it more as like a navigational tool in your daily or weekly life. One of the things that was really cool for me to learn was in my human design. I'm actually a generator. And what I learned from that is my job is to respond. So by being me and being who I am, I will naturally attract opportunity, and then I get to choose. And I say, yes, I'm going to lean into that, or no, thank you, that doesn't feel aligned. So, you know, I think some of these tools are here to teach us how to access our own divine architecture, how to navigate within our own soul blueprint. So they're here to help us. They're like a divine multidimensional compass that we get to utilize and work with. And ultimately, like Tangela said, we are sovereign beings. And I would add, we get to choose. We get to choose and assign the meaning that aligns with where we want to go, because we are the captain of our sacred starship.
I love that, Nicole. Thank you so much for reminding us of our sovereignty, and that absolutely we do. We ultimately, it is our ability to co-create. And these are all tools to help us understand why we have the challenges we have, what they represent, and what the opportunities for growth and evolution might be. You know, we had Matt Kahn on the show a couple weeks ago, and his whole thing is that everything that happens is for us, not to us. So I think Paul Sterling has something to share. Paul?
Absolutely. Let's see if I can share my screen here for a second. And what Nicole said, I love what she said there, and about a blueprint. And I've been working, this is a blueprint after about 30 some years. And if you look at relationships, they're a mix of your heart set which Scott and I actually came up with this in a conversation. I don't know if you remember, Scott, but
it was over sushi dinner. It was sushi dinner in Carmel.
Friend, partner, lover, these three different areas. And in those areas, our needs are either a burden or precious. But what I wanted to talk about here is our skill set. So there's a heart set, skill set, mindset, and all these different tools. If we narrow these tools down, there's three main functions, at least the way I look at it, is to clear up the past. Because if we don't have tools to clear up the past is in the present and destroys any possibilities for the future. So in relationship, though, there's skills. That's why Scott's tools, the tools we're learning here, there are 7 core skills, and we're either unprepared or well-equipped for relationships. And the last one, and I'm going to be working with people on this, is your ROS, your relationship operating system, and it's invisible, and it's either set up to sabotage or support you, and it's made up of your habits, patterns, and beliefs. So this is kind of a map to look at relationships, and almost anything you're working on kind of fits into one of these different categories. So in the end, if you want lasting love, you need to be capable, available, and willing. So that's just a model to look at, and one way of looking at relationships. I have a background not only in coaching and counseling, but in quality control and going into businesses and creating models for them. And I'm applying it in the world of relationships and communication. So thanks, Scott. Now I've got to go. I've got an amazing person waiting for me, and I'm bouncing off.
Say hello to Leah for me. And again, everybody, you can find Paul if you want to get coaching from Paul. It's the name of his best-selling book. It's his website, arguelesslovemore.net. arguelesslovemore.net, and is available for coaching. So definitely take advantage of that opportunity. Thanks for joining us, Paul. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, everybody.
So I want to kind of wrap up this part of the show and this question with my perception about it all. At the highest level, it's a dream world. We are having an incredible individual dream within an incredible cosmic dream. And it's a dream within a dream within a dream and within a dream. I've had the good fortune to work a lot with death. I walked my mother through her death, my father through his death, my wife through her death, and many friends through death. I've had many experiences where I've connected with friends or loved ones or family members after they've passed. And I've done a lot of work on near-death experiences and working with people in that realm. I've done television shows on it. And I'm here to say that truly, when we die, we wake up to the next dream. We experience, oh my God, I just had this incredible earth life. I was Scott Katamas and I or whoever it was. I was Nicole Keating and I was in Sedona, or whatever it was. And our earth life is where we're here to learn lessons of love. We're here on this planet, in this dream, to learn lessons of love, starting with ourself. You know, some of you have heard me say this before, but probably the world's foremost researcher on near-death experiences is Dr. Kenneth Ring. I know him, I've interviewed him multiple times, and he did clinical research and comparative analysis on over 300 cases over a 10-year period of people who had been declared dead by a doctor or a police officer. They had been dead for at least 20 minutes. They had at least some partial memory of what happened, and they were willing to be hypnotized with Dr. Ring, probing their subconscious. And the biggest commonality was the meaning of life. I'm here to learn to love. Now, each person had their own unique challenge. I'm here to learn to love even though I lost my legs in the accident, or my wife left me, or my business failed, or I'm overweight, or whatever it is. We all have childhood wounding. We all have epigenetic, ancestral wounding. And some of us, it's like, okay, alcoholism stops with me. Domestic violence stops with me, right? And many of us have recognized that our ancestral history had powerful, difficult challenges that we are now using the tools that we can find on the awakening world, that we find through Soul Search and through the people you see on this show, to resolve our personal challenges, our ancestral challenges. But ultimately, it's all about, I'm here to learn to love, starting with myself. So I'm going to bring our wonderful, beautiful Tangela and Nicole and Raquel on one last time. We'll bring on Raquel. There she is. And I'd love to just get your feedback about that thought, about it ultimately being a dream world, that we're here to learn lessons of love, and how each of you might relate to that. Go ahead. Anybody?
Well, Scott, I completely agree with you. Yes, we are here. This is an illusion. This is a dream world, and it's just an experience for us to come more and more into the oneness of who we are. And what is that but love? So, for me personally, it's, the way I try to live my life is, how can I bring the most love to every moment? Because that is my practice, and the test for me, and in every moment, in every situation, how can I be love and exude love and experience love? And because that's really what we're here for. And so with that, though, it doesn't mean that the challenges of life go away, and the ups and downs and the chaos and the obstacles that may arise. But it's up to us then to choose our reaction and to choose our way forward. And so it's not an easy path, because we do, like you said, come with our wounding, come with our history, come with not just from this lifetime, but from many lifetimes. But again, that's the beauty of why we're here, to be able to bring that forth, but then also know, as the conscious creators of our reality and the creator beings that we are, that we have the choice in every moment to say yes to who it is that we are creating for ourselves and for the world, and leave behind what no longer serves us. Whatever that history may be, whatever psychological, emotional traumas, wounding that have come with us and with our families. So I do think, I think what you said is so beautiful, and it's really important for us to remember as we move through this earth plane, and especially the space and time that we're in now, which is full of so much transformation and, political upheaval, economic changes that are coming. So with all of these shifts happening, again, I think coming back to love, coming back to our creator selves, and coming back to choice, as Nicole said as well. We always have that power to choose. And for me, that's so important, what you shared, Scott, in terms of, we're here as beings of love, and we can choose who we are in every moment and leave the past behind if it no longer serves.
Beautiful. Well, that's a good opportunity to transition to Nicole. Nicole, what are your thoughts on that approach, that we're here to learn lessons of love and it's a cosmic dream?
Yes, absolutely. We are here to learn lessons of love. And something that I'm really working with right now, and I'm really noticing is valuable for people, is vulnerability and authenticity, and being coming down off of the perfection pedestal into the realness and the rawness, and oops, that didn't work, right? Just showing your authenticity and your vulnerability through when you're shining your light and your offerings. And that allows people to become undefended. And, we're learning how to release, the ego has a purpose, and the ego is powerful. It gets us to do things and show up in certain ways and be uncomfortable and move through our blocks. And the ego has purpose. I listened to Anita Morjani talking about this when she was here. But when we are able to become undefended, then we can actually relate through the lens of love. One of the things Tangela and I do when we work together, and I just want to share this because this is something that you can do, all of you, no matter the work you do, no matter the relationships you're in. We when we start our calls to work on soul search, we bring in our angels, we bring in our guides, we bring in the energy of love, we bring in the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and like we raise our consciousness together, and then from that space we work from there. And I'll tell you, the energy that is created by bringing in the love, the cosmic universal love. And I do this with all of my clients. I just worked with Luana, who's in our platinum group today. And I start everything that way because it elevates the energy, and it allows you to channel pure source love into that conversation, into those ideas, into those systems you're building for in soul search. It's literally for all these souls that we're merging and bringing together. Like when we tune into that, we know our bigger purpose, and we're seeing, speaking, creating through the lens of love and through our hearts. And the actual results, the tangible results that come from that frequency are undeniably 100 times more epic and beautiful and thoughtful and poignant than what might come, even if we're in a great place. But when we bring in that energy, we bring it up, and we call that in together, it's so beautiful and so powerful. So I would say absolutely. And I would also just say that when you fall off, because it's inevitable, we all fall off the love train, and we bounce into our shadow and our conditioning and our worries and our fears and our patterns. Just get back on. It's like getting back on the horse when you're a kid, getting back on the bike, show back up to love, and love yourself enough to be kind to yourself in that process.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Nicole. It's always great to have you on the show. And I want to bring on your soul search sister, Raquel, so she has a chance to share on this. And everybody, we're going to then have Magic with Paul Draper, the Global Peace Tribe announcements, and then we're going to close with an Omashar song. So that's what's happening. I'm also going to read some of your comments after Raquel shares her thoughts. Raquel, you're up.
Thank you. So I do have another appointment soon, so I'm going to just share, and I will be logging off. So I just want to say thank you one more time before I share my final thoughts here. Thank you, Scott. Thank you for this beautiful team, and for everybody present that is here showing up and just adding to the light of the world. Thank you. And I will be back on Friday. So yes, show up on Friday and bring your questions. We're going to dive deep into some really powerful astrological perspectives then. But I do want to leave some final thoughts on what you brought up about the dream, right? The ultimate, the dream that we are. I saw a lot of the comments in the chat that were also expressing about, well, I prefer to stay in the reality, and like, what is this dream versus reality that we're talking about here? So this is what I wanted to share, just my perspective on it. And it's very interesting because before I talk about the dream that we're in, I want to just bring focus to what you said, Scott, about this space that we are entering of just, it ends here. This pattern of addiction, this pattern of depression, this pattern of abuse ends with me. And I want to just take a moment to focus in on that, because using this as an example of our reality, in many ways, this is part of the Black Moon Lilith energy that I talked about earlier, that we're all experiencing for a reason. And in this part of our reality that we are being made to face these, it ends with me. Face these moments, face these truths, face these realities, and not out of a place of duality or I'm done with this, but it really, the ultimate purpose of all of this, of even bringing us to the space, is again, sovereignty. So this is the opportunity that we're having to experience a new level of sovereignty as a human being. And that is what the catalyst is creating for us. It's creating the space for us to experience ourselves as sovereign. So in order for that to happen, we need to see where the aspects that are no longer serving us need to change, be moved beyond our comfort zone to take those actions and step into those spaces. So this in a great deal is part of the reality that we really are experiencing. All of us, myself included, I've been immersed in these questions of what is it that is ending with me now? And even patterns of the way that society is run, and who dictates what should be our form of entertainment or pleasure, or like, it ends with me. This matrix is ending and I'm no longer going to feed into it. So there's this part of the reality. But what Scott was, to my understanding, bringing about the dream, and this is where I want to now just gently invite you to focus your attention on, is that at the end of the day, we know there's more. And this is about not getting caught up in the wherewithal of the experience, where you lose hope and you have this, you experience a state of desperation and just feeling so lost because all you see is what's happening in front of you. So this dream, this ultimate dream state that we're referring to here, is the true reality, which is the point of origin of our consciousness. We are not just this physical experience. We are so much more. And so it really becomes about having the ability to be fully present with each experience as it comes. This is not about denying and saying, I'm going to transcend the experience. Yeah, you will one day, but you're only going to transcend it when you go through it. Yes. So really about embracing that and owning that. Every part of your experience, being present with it, but not making it all about the experience, being in the world, but not of it. You know that there is a greater stream, a greater force, a greater intelligence that is operating through that experience. So this is what we teach, in the Soul Search platform and through our services, is how do you make this transition? How do you fully immerse yourself in the experience of saying it ends with me? Because this is your contribution to the evolutionary process of humanity, but also have the ability when need to through meditation, through other moments where you can remember that this is all just a temporary experience for your evolution. That's what I want to leave you with. My 2 cents.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Raquel. Have a beautiful evening. I know you're off, and we'll see you on Friday night.
Friday, yes. Thank all of you.
Fantastic. I'm going to just read a few comments from all of you, because I really want to make it more as interactive as possible. That's like the new vision. Karen Eisenberg writes, beautiful, Raquel. It ends with me. Dia writes, Raquel, you are the quintessential astrologer and expression of womanhood. Thank you, namaste. I love, love, love you. And that's from Dia.
I love you too. I love you too. Thank you.
Dr. Laura writes, I am done with government. I am completely done with governmental hierarchy. Power to the people around the planet. Yeah. Absolutely. Nicole writes, our Nicole right here writes, we are releasing codependency for personal sovereignty and abundant choice. Beautiful. Nancy talks about how all the planets receive sunlight. And so no planet, nothing is ever in total darkness. To recognize that we all have light within us and upon us. Scrolling up a little bit. Josie Ann, some beautiful thoughts. We're going to do a whole show with Josie Ann when she gets back from Paris. Lots of love, within here. We're a tribe, we're a community. Recently, one of our members, Carol, lost her husband, and we took a moment of prayer and maximum grace for the passage of her husband and how that's impacting Carol. Likewise, we see that somebody lost their baby. So, we pray and we heal together. And that's a big part of what takes place here. Let's just find a couple more comments. Mark Danisovsky, one of our favorite people. Oh, this is a good one. I love this. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Row, I'm going to do the whole one. He only put part of it. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now that nursery rhyme I did not know, Mark is pointing out, that was written during the plague. And the plague killed 50 million people throughout Europe. And remember, that was, when the population of the planet was very small, so it was like a third of Europe died. And he said it helped people to deal with the psychic burden. And think about that nursery rhyme that is universal. It's what we're saying. Our boat, row, row, row your boat, your life, gently through the stream of life. Merrily, do it with laughter and love, because life is a dream. So thank you, Mark. I think I'm going to close with that. Beautiful comments from everybody. And life is magical. And so what better way for us to remember that life is magical, but through the power of magic. So I'm so grateful. Thank you, Paul. We went a little bit late tonight. Thanks for hanging in there with us.
Hello! So yes, I think it's so nice you talking about a dream within a dream. Of course, going back to the famous quote, "Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?" Edgar Allan Poe. Also, particularly well done in the movie with the spinny top. What was that called? So such a good show.
Brilliant,
Such a fun movie. So I need someone to come up and help me. Who do we have out there that might be willing to come and help?
Okay, I've gone to gallery view. Who's raising their hand? And it can be one of our presenters.
Sure, but it's always fun if it's somebody that's just watching and wants to support.
Who wants to be on and work with Paul? Okay, Eleanor Joy, wonderful. We love Eleanor Joy. She's one of our favorite people.
Hello, Eleanor. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. And I love your work.
Oh, that's so kind of you, Eleanor. You're always so nice writing that in the comments. Okay, I'm going to have you help me with a deck of cards and a big prediction here. But the first thing I need you to do is I need you to look away for a moment, because I'm going to show something to everybody else. So don't look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. So I have a deck of cards here that Eleanor is going to choose from, where she can choose any card she wants. Any card she wants. Well, don't look yet, Eleanor. And then I have a prediction over here where Eleanor is going to get to make a prediction based upon what she chooses. Now, Eleanor, I want you to look back at the camera now. I have a deck of cards. Just spread them out just like this. Do you want me to start from the side I'm pointing to or start from the other side?
The first side you're pointing to.
Perfect. I'm going to start counting the cards. You tell me when to stop. That'll be your card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
Right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, you could have stopped on any of these cards, any card at all, but you stopped right there on the seventh card, and your card is the Queen of Hearts. Oh no, the Queen of Hearts right there. I don't know how that happened since I set this up. Eleanor, have you been messing with me? I set it up ahead of time that every card in the whole deck is the King of Spades, but somehow you have the Queen of Hearts. Don't worry, we can change it just like that. My prediction, your card, the Queen of Hearts. Eleanor, you did such a great job. Thanks so much for helping me out. It's so strange here with my set. I'm all set up for the Queen of Hearts. I'm set like Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. I have the drink me and the cookies and the Mad Hatter's hat and a bunny rabbit over there with a watch on it. So we'll take this Queen of Hearts just one step further. Let's have somebody else come on and help me. Just put somebody up on the screen. Let's see who's willing to help. It can be a presenter. It can be anybody.
Let's go with Nicole. We'll go with Nicole.
Nicole!
She's lots of fun.
I was actually going to raise my hand.
Nicole, you're the one. I appreciate you using the phrase y'all. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, where we don't have yins guys or y'all, but I've started using it because it's better than ladies and gentlemen. I also like what Disney is doing now. They say dreamers of all ages. So this is what I want you to do, Nicole.
Okay.
That is the Queen of Hearts. I'm going to try and trick you. Okay? This is an optical illusion. An optical illusion. Your job is to stop on the Queen of Hearts. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There or back a bit?
Back a little bit.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. You did what most people would do. That makes sense. That's actually that big huge 10. Why is that? It's an optical illusion. Because if you were to see the big card on this side, you'd see it as a little card on that side. Does that make sense? Is the way that you fan a card. So you're going to get it this time, I just know. Anytime you want, say stop.
Stop.
Right there?
Back. Back one.
There?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how this happened, Nicole, but somehow, once again, right there on that big cat. I don't know how to. Look, we're gonna play it differently. We're gonna play it differently, you and I. This time, all you need to do is not stop on the Queen of Hearts. Whatever you do, do not stop on the Queen of Hearts. That's all you have to do. Just anytime you want, say stop.
Stop.
Right there. Right there.
Yeah.
All you had to do was not stop on the Queen of Hearts. Somehow, I don't know what happened there, Nicole. Oh, that's not fair. That's just
That's
me.
in my head, Paul.
Well, you helped everybody in their heads today with talking and sharing from your heart. So thanks so much, Nicole, for coming on and sharing and playing with me for a minute. Well, I want to share one more piece with hearts before I let you go. This is, many of you may have seen me do this, but I made it again just for you here today. I went and grabbed some crepe paper from Michael's. As you can tell, looking behind me, here in my family, we like going to Michael's and creating Michael's and Target and creating things. I have two little pieces of paper, two paper hearts. I've noticed a lot of people lately online have been fighting. They're fighting because they're too close together, and they create a lot of friction. Sometimes they fight because they're too far apart and they can't see eye to eye. And when we fight, like the other Paul was talking about, the problem is we don't always know how to communicate, and it hurts. Ow! It tears at us. Ow! And we don't know what to do with that hurt. We become mad at the people around us. And as Scott told us, we shouldn't get mad at people. We should instead get mad at these ideas. Because as long as we stay angry at others, it doesn't hurt them. It hurts us. We have to find someone we can talk to learn from, like a therapist or a doctor or a teacher, a parent or a friend, someone we can turn to help us heal so that we can come back together, so that we can learn to become whole again, so we can find new and better tools to love, so that we can find new ways to share and ways to join together like we are today over Zoom. Thank you for letting me share that with you. Okay, and with that, back to you, Scott.
Let's all twinkle Paul. Wasn't that beautiful? Just beautiful. Everybody twinkle him, send him love, send him kisses. We love Paul. And a reminder that you can reach Paul. It's easy. It's his name, pauldraper.com. You definitely want to subscribe to his newsletter like I just did. And Paul, you're available for like corporate events, parties, good stuff like that.
Yeah, I just did a big event for sustainability directors of all the Fortune 100 companies in America at the St. Regis here in Utah last week. So trade shows, corporate events, birthday parties in person or on Zoom. Look forward to seeing people there. But follow me at pauldraper.com.
pauldraper.com. Thank you, Paul. We'll see you soon. Hey everybody, it's time for the Global Peace Tribe announcements. And send me your announcements. In fact, we're going to be hearing from Lawrence, who's one of our Zoom roomers. He's a Global Peace Triber, and he's got an announcement we're going to make. So I'm going to be including more and more of your announcements. And of course, all of you who have been with us for a while remember Jay Mayer. He made that video we just watched. And Jay is sponsoring something called Calling All Tribes for a Moment of Peace. We've been talking about that. And Chief Phil Lane, he's a regular on our show, is involved with this. And the whole idea is for us to meditate throughout the day, holding the vision for world peace. And as you meditate, no matter what time of day it is, just imagine it's 8 p.m. You're like sending the vibe out to this 8 p.m., whatever time zone you happen to be in. But 8 p.m. is like when people often pray, often tune in. But you can do it at any time, but just send the vibe to that 8 p.m. Calling All Tribes World Peace event. And for more details, you can go to that website. And again, I'll bring it back up for a minute. It's a beautiful thing that Jay is doing. And the website is momentforworldpeace.com. Momentforworldpeace.com. Well, if you've enjoyed tonight, and I think you certainly have because we've gotten great comments in the chat box, there's going to be more tomorrow. Tangela is coming back as my co-host, and I love co-hosting with her. And once again, she's bringing one of her great Goddess Soul Search collaborators with her. Melissa Fike will be joining us. And Melissa is a beautiful, amazing spiritual teacher, and we'll be, again, kind of dropping into this new season and how we can increase our experience of divinity, whatever that might mean to you. So that's going to be tomorrow. And Omashar, our house musician, will be with us to play more music tomorrow. He's going to close us out in just a moment with some more music. And now I want to introduce, and I've never met him, but Lawrence is one of our Global Peace Tribe Zoom roomers, and he sent me this when he registered and asked if we could spotlight it. So hello, Lawrence. Welcome to the Awakening World.
Hello, and thank you so much, Scott. And I just, first of all, want to say thank you to you for doing this and for continuing to do it, because we need so much of this in the world, especially today. I really honor you, and you know, even though nobody knows me, I'm very much a newbie on the Awakening World. I was introduced to it through Dean and Kathleen in Dixon, California, earlier this year. And I started to watch it, and I just was like, wow, this is like a place I can go where people are actually speaking my language, and there's conscious people here. And I learned so much tonight, and I just wanted to say to everyone, I love you all, and I'm very grateful to be here and to learn from you, and you know, help to evolve the consciousness, help to raise the frequency of the planet.
Thank you, Lawrence.
So, and you know what, Scott, also, I really liked what you said. I wrote it down. We're here to learn lessons of love. I really like that. I loved what everyone said. I was the one who asked Raquel that question because I really was curious about, you know, how astrology would relate to past lives. And you know, I think everybody really took that question and did something with it. So I honor everyone. I wanted to share about a concert that I've been studying with Master Sha for many years. Dr. and Master Sha, he started off as a Western medicine doctor. And I think that his curiosity of why some people survive chronic illness and why some people don't. When he was a young child, he studied many Asian martial arts, but he was very curious. He was very innocent, very curious, and, you know, wondering, you know, why is it that, you know, some people have more resilience, some people don't. And so then that led him to continue his search into acupuncture, and then eventually, I think his dad gave him a book one time and said, "Hey, there's this guy who heals with just intention. Just his intention can heal." And he wrote to that master in China, and he said, "Hey, I want to learn that," and he begged the teacher, and then he studied like 13 years. And now Master Sha has really evolved. Not a lot of people know what he's doing and understand what he's doing. It's quite deep. But what we're going to see on July 22nd, and that's 7/22/2022. Mark your calendars if you can make it. It's Friday night. I think it's just an hour and a half before your Friday night program, Scott. So everyone can make it. It's free. And it's basically a getting together of different tribes. Master Sha has a global tribe. We're a global tribe right here. And also there's going to be some very special people on there that I don't really know. Queen Deyambi, who is a humanitarian. She's going to be raising money for children in Africa. There's also, many of you may know, Melan Moritz. She's a beautiful singer, and she does her singing bowls, and it's just like this beautiful, haunting sound. Everybody's singing from their heart and soul. So this is going to be definitely something to raise the frequency, to bring us all together, and to help the consciousness. I want to just also mention briefly one thing about, you might see Master Sha students with calligraphies. I don't have one behind me, but I do have one. And you might say, well, why are these guys, do these guys love art? Do they love, doing Chinese calligraphy? Well, yeah, it is kind of pretty, but what Master Sha is actually doing is a little bit revolutionary. He's actually creating portals of high frequency light through those calligraphies. So when you stand in front of them, when you trace them, when you honor them, it's kind of like going to your favorite place in nature where you all of a sudden feel refreshed, rejuvenated. You come back to that love vibration. They're completely filled with source light and source vibration. And by bringing those down, what Master Sha is doing is actually grounding them into the planet, because there's thousands of them being created all over the world. So when he's presenting those calligraphies, you're absorbing that light on the screen. And so just like all of us tonight, we come out here in a high frequency and get together and we sing and we talk. And this helps our frequency collectively before we go back out into the world. What this concert does, and what Master Sha and many of you, all of us, are doing is, again, helping to, I guess you could say, compensate for a lot of the pollution and a lot of the blockages that are in the world today, and just bringing in a lot more light and bringing in a lot more love, which helps us to heal, helps the planet to heal, helps our relationships to heal, and so forth. So I don't know, Scott, if you could just show it one more time. It's a free concert.
Yep. So here's the website, everybody.
On July 22nd, you can. Oh, and there's one more little fun thing I heard, that you could order like a little tambourine after you register. There's like a way you could order like a little tambourine, and they'll send you the tambourine so that you can actually play during the concert while they're doing the concert. So I thought that was cute. And so yeah, check it out. Thank you, Scott, for letting me mention it. And
absolutely, Lawrence.
Love you all. And I appreciate everyone here, and thank you so much for everything.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lawrence.
See you again, and I'm grateful for this new season.
Me too. And everybody, feel free to send me things like this. I don't know if I'll do everybody's, but I'll pick and choose the ones that I think will be most interesting to the overall group. And, we're constantly playing and evolving this. So thank you, everybody. By the way, Karen mentioned that she got a beautiful healing from Dr. Shaw. She says, Master Shaw has worked on me and he is great. I'll just briefly put the spotlight on Karen. There she is. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that with us. Thank you. All right. We're going to conclude with beautiful music from our beloved house musician, Omar Shah.
Yay, here we are. And thank you, Lawrence. When I was music director of Unity of Hawaii, we had Dr. Shah come and be our guest. And so I had a personal healing from him as well. And I know he's the real deal and definitely an interesting, powerful character. And okay, so, next 3 weekends, I'm going to be in England with my mum. But I am going to try and find a space to be on the Sacred Sunday show because that's in a good time zone for England, and I'll just have my mum on the screen at the same time. So, good old mum.
We will look forward to meeting your mother. That'll be fun.
That'll be interesting. So, okay, the song is called One Heart, One Mind, One Soul, but it's a medley because of Mark. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. That's my mum's name.
Oh, for sure, you got to turn your microphone on. Your microphone is not on. Yep, yeah, we can't hear. We hear the keyboard, but we're not hearing, or the microphone needs to be turned up.
Can you hear that?
Yes, now you're good.
What happened there? I was touring the co-host. Here we go. Good?
Yes.
Love you. I do. Sometimes it feels so hard to move along, saying goodbye to yesterday. Take heart, my friends. This is a new song, bringing us back to our homelands. When something troubles you, just call out my name. I'm the one who loves you. Be still within. Hear what I say, and give me the chance to be with you. We are one heart, one mind, one soul, working together to heal. And there are no walls between us now. It's a celebration of union. So when you're feeling down and on your own, take a look around. I am in everything. Give me your burden, walk into my arms. I will lift you up, I will hold you. We are one heart, one mind, one soul, working together to heal. And there are no walls between
ones who hear the new voice calling us home to freedom. Fear not, my friends, this is a new place full of new joys and happiness. Yes, we are one heart, one mind, one soul, working together to heal. And there is no walls between us now. It's a celebration of union. We are the Global Peace Tribe.
Fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. Isn't it wonderful seeing everybody moving and
It's
dancing?
awesome. It's really fun. And as we, we're evolving, Scott, what you and Debbie created, it's evolving. We're evolving as it. And it's so amazing because it's genuine and it's grounded and it's real. And excuse me, I'm just excited.
Me too. Me too.
Man, awesome. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Omar. We'll see Omar tomorrow morning. So everybody do join us tomorrow morning. And again, remember there are 3 different Zoom room links, one for Friday night, one for Saturday night, one for Sunday. But the links that you got when you registered, these will be the links for the next 3 months. They won't change. So save them, put them in a special place, because inevitably what happens is we'll start a show and I'll get these emails, Scott, I can't find the link. So save them in a special place, everybody. And you know what? Invite your friends. Let's really build our Global Peace Tribe. We're going to do a lot more collaboration with Soul Search. And of course, I'll be collaborating again with Tangela tomorrow on the Sacred Sunday show. Where is she? There she is, that bright light. Tangela, thank you so much for coming on and bringing Raquel and Nicole with you.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. It's always amazing to be with the Global Peace Tribe community. We love you guys, and I love feeling all of the energy and the excitement and the real feeling of family that we are, and that we're continuing to create and grow together. And so I just love seeing everyone on here, seeing all of the comments on the chat, and thanks so much to Nicole and Raquel for joining us as well. And I'm just really excited to keep sharing with all of you guys, and also, bringing in more and more of our Soul Search family, to meet you all and for you all to meet one another, and, just keeping this going and growing. So thank you.
Absolutely. We will continue to keep it growing. Thank you, everybody. Share it out with your friends. Hope to see you all tomorrow morning. Have a beautiful weekend. God's blessings, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.